seeing anything that like really shocks me coming into Split. Like I feel like we've been seeing this crashy sky thing fairly often on this map. I mean, more often than not. So yeah, everything's kind of sliding into place, I guess you would say.
It was a hover of the Sova from Whippy. I thought maybe we see some crazy wrench thrown into things as far as compositions. You really got to know your lineups for that one.
Nah.
But it is going to be that Viper.
Yep.
And this is interesting because they bring the Viper what feels like just about everywhere. Yesterday they were playing it on Haven. They've obviously got it here, so the proficiency is there for Whippy. And as we've got that blank screen for Victor, it is going to be the Raze locked in for that duelist. So not necessarily mirrored as a whole. I'm ready for this one.
Yeah, again, both these teams come in very like similar numbers on Split. Like both teams are kind of near that 75% win rate on the map. Both teams obviously bolstering that really strong defensive side as opposed to their attacking side, though I would say Envy are pretty proficient on both. The difference being is that the last time they met, Version 1 absolutely wiped the floor with them on Split. They beat them 13-3, including 10 attacking rounds, really flipping the script on how strong, you know, Envy are supposed to be defensively. So that's kind of the one storyline that's kind of looming out there. But, I mean, other than that, on average, Envy are the more proven team. This is one of their best maps. And I imagine that they're thinking to themselves that, you know, the last time was a bit of a fluke and they need to just get back to doing business because historically speaking, Split has been their best map. It's been their bread and butter. They've built a lot of their success off of competing on this map throughout the last several months, and I imagine they want to get back to that.
Early aggression, Whippy to shut it down, though. Victor was trying to catch him off guard on the back end of that Trailblazer. Rashy's in the back pocket, not going to find it, and sure, things have since halted since then. That's a huge first kill to have in this one.
Oh, absolutely. We'll get right ready to kick off the pistol if you're V1. Now trying to make their way up at A. Rance. Finesse trying to come through it. Crashy's flash, see if he can't even it back up. Crashy's doing a great shot, grabbing a couple of kills to try to keep it close, but at the end of the day, V1 still stay a step ahead as they are now looking to go ahead and come into A. They already have Zelsis deep in enemy territory here, pushed very deep into A heaven. There is a sewers flank coming right now from Caboose, but it seems like Whippy's aware of its potential. In the meantime, Zelsis is fighting that back halls rotation of Mummy. Whippy does catch Caboose, and so now it's all on Mummy. 1v3 on the Jet.
And this is, sure, pistol round, right? Could still go either way. Mummy does have the ghost and only needs a couple of headshots to close this one out. But Whippy's so far off the side, is going to be playing the lineups, maybe not even needed. The Cloudburst goes through. Mummy looks to find the shots. Unfortunately, taking a bit of damage before he tailwinds away. He's going to be walking right into the open arms of Vanity and takes him down. No hug for you, he says, with 10 rounds in the magazine on the Frenzy. Needs to find one more on site, and then somehow, some way, needs to dodge out on the snake bites, but that's not going to be the case. It's Zelsis to finish what he started.
Indeed, really well done. Again, like you're talking about, you know, Whippy being on that Viper, very new for him. Obviously, really only playing Omen since he stepped into, you know, Valorant. And he's only played a handful of events, if we're honest. Like, he's only really played since he started playing with, like, Ghost, I guess you could say, like, back in February. And for, you know, a couple of months there with them. And now he's making this transition to stepping in for Version 1. And already doing really well. But I feel like, as throughout this game, it's going to come down to this. Zelsis and Penny have been near top 5 of both ACS and ADR throughout the tournament, but I have to say that Crash's Victor aren't too far behind, as we're just seeing V1 kind of mop up against the save round here of Envy. So those 4 players are going to be so key, I feel, throughout this series to determine who's going to be on top.
And Envy looking to make it hurt for a second. Unfortunately, not going to find much more than that first, as the Spectre was picked up by Victor, who will look to go to work. And Vanity, this time around, not going to be on the receiving end of a lost gunfight. 2 rounds now swing the way of Version 1, and this is the map that we saw 13-4. It's not something that we expect for Version 1 to do against Envy every single time because of their proficiency on it, but we know just how comfortable this V1 team is.
Yeah, I mean, again, normally Envy, great in this map. V1, same exact thing. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's one team's pick, sure, but I feel like both teams are happy with it. And so Envy, you know, or excuse me, Version 1, I should say, off to a good start. I know we got that little bit flipped up top.
Yeah, it is.
Threw me off there for a second, but I'm staying on my toes best I can. It's going to find the entry here onto Victor. First buy round of the game, and off to a fast start is going to be V1. Mummy trying to fight back with Finesse, and they've been able to at least hang around. They've got it back to even. Regrowth there for Finesse.
That feels pretty good. That full heal coming all the way through, right? Since the nerfs to Sage back in the day, that healing orb doesn't necessarily top you off, but you can use a whole lot of that regrowth. See the health in favor of Envy, although players are even. Paranoia to go through. Penny gonna go unchecked, but traded out. Crashes to find another. Now Whippy needs to be huge in this. Unfortunately, not able to do it. It's a Caboose and Crashy sandwich on the kill feed, and it's Envy to pick up there first.
Indeed, it's going to be 2-1 in favor of V1. Again, we'll get that fixed up there up top, don't you worry. But yeah, the other cool thing about this matchup, besides just talking about, you know, how well Victor and Crashes are playing for Envy and how well we're seeing this Zellsis and Penny duelist composition and how well they've been performing, is that both these teams love to play that aggressive style. And so that means you're going to see just a lot of, like, chaos and fireworks and just explosiveness. I mean, Envy has always been that way, and V1 certainly trying to bring that style to this map as well. And so now we do got everything fixed up top. Good to go, as you can see. And V, a little bit behind, but did fight back in that opening gun round very well. Great retake.
Daggers popped by Penny. Forced to dash way through the toxic screen. Spotted up into heaven, and Victor takes him down to the only player without a weapon. It was just the ultimate online, and Envy pick up 3 early in this round. It's 2 traded right back. Effie's in Vanity. 1 kill away from ults for both of them.
Absolutely. Again, when you're playing this fast and you're fragging out this hard, those ults are going to come to play rather quickly. As it is favoring Envy. No retake this time. Spike down in awkward position inside the site, but Effie's catching Crashies, equals the numbers, and maybe gives him a way back in, but the timing from Victor couldn't be better. They just absolutely crossfire Effie's. He gets it from the front and the back. Vanity was still trying to rotate through sewers. He's going to get here a little bit too late. Now a tough 1v2 ahead of him, but he spots the barrel, gets it into a 1v1.
Spike down on the ground. He's got that cosmic divide. We'll see how he uses it as the stars go down. Unsure of where this player is at, and Caboose will close it out once more. Envy tie us up.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vanny was busy playing a mini game while Caboose was busy getting into position to take care of business. Yeah. And it's like you get to play a whole different game when you're playing Astra. You get to play a game within a game. And unfortunately, Vanity was not in the right game at the right time. But at the same time, that spray, you know, you got a little concerned. Like, he started to, you know, it wasn't like a whiff or anything, but it was taking those extra couple of bullets that was maybe giving Vanity a chance to recover if he could get the headshot quick, but it didn't happen, and we're all tied up now.
Yeah, and in that minigame, you also can't hear anything, so doing it solo, it feels a whole lot worse.
You're in the Astral Realm, bro. What? I mean, of course you're not going to hear anything.
Yeah, even if Caboose was romping and stomping, it'd be tough to hear that. Victor trying to find some chip damage through the boxes out towards mid. Not going to find anything just yet as the stars get recalled. Nothing really too telling as to where version 1 want to go just yet. It is going to be a little bit of mid control. Viper set up towards A, though. So it really feels like they have a whole lot of options based off their utility.
Oh, absolutely. Getting mid control quickly, as you said, is going to give you a lot of time to work things out and try to figure out what's your best option. As the cam is definitely spotting Zellsis' barrel here, so he knows what's up. Victor trying to play off of it here. We'll get the kill, and these might have the paint shots at just the right time. Actually, deciding to hold back, waiting for the guiding light to confirm that they're still there. Now uses the paint shells, forcing them out of mailroom and back into middle. They do have vent control here on the V1 side of things, but they are now a man down. They are starting to run out of clock as they're trying to rotate back and forth here. Now they realize that they want to pinch B as they still have that presence inside the B lobby area. I believe that's Vanity that's sitting over there. So yeah, trying to set up some stars and get in.
A beautiful cam there by Finesse to get so much information. They are able to push up for the res, so it is going to be a 5v5, but tagged up. Not taking down the trap wire. He's going to be destroyed, but they're running out of time, like you said, Dust. The clock working against them. Effie's and Vanity's able to get on the board to battle back, and they do still have that man advantage. Op shot going to go wide there. I'm not able to find it. The dagger's going to go wide as well, and it's starting to fall apart as Victor tries to hang on. Time has since been reset as the spike was planted. He'll drop down to playing back towards this defender side. It spawned into the back alley, but it's the Ferrari swing, or the Segway swing is what I wanted to call it, from Vanity. Not using his feet, but the wheels to come around the corner. The run and gun puts version 1 back in the lead.
You wouldn't think that Nerf darts would hurt that much, but apparently in this world, they frag out. These daggers being missed is like one of those just like tough to watch moments because it definitely had impact on, and you wonder how they missed because the dude was literally in his face. Just a tough pill to swallow there. Big round from V1. They looked a step behind, but they were able to get the res off, able to just kind of overwhelm that B site. Mummy misses that kind of aggressive opportunity, and it just kind of unravels from there. And now Envy have to take a save. A great chance for V1 to start building that lead up here early. Again, they come in as the underdog, the less experienced team, the less proven unit against a consistent top 4 team in the region who made a big roster change a little while back, bringing on Victor, bringing on Crashies, but it's done nothing but wonders for them since. And that's just Shazam kind of said in that interview. Like, Envy kind of does feel like the team that's most deserving if you just look at past results. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to you having to prove it in the most important matches, which is right here, right now.
It's close angles being held. It's the pistols. Mummy picks up one, dashes away. Too far to upgrade the weapon, so he's just going to take his leave. Head on back, Caboose. Put in a tough spot, tossing out a dark cover. The double spray down from Vanity is good for a couple of headshots. Trying to find some more as Victor looks to swing, chops him down to 5 health. It's not enough to find the kill, and it's a near flawless round on this one as Mummy was the only one able to find a kill early in this round. Could find one more with the Ghost. Unfortunately, there's just nobody here in front of him.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's an eco and V1 are getting picks on both sides of the map simultaneously, and so you really never had a chance. I mean, you lost the round before it even started based on the economy, and then it's just like nightmare fuel and you're losing on both ends of the map simultaneously and just don't really have any way to respond or try to throw out a gimmick or really just give yourself any hope at winning. But now, that's all going to change. Back to the buy is going to be Envy. No operator, though, for Mummy. I feel like that's a big one, right? Mummy doesn't get to play Jet out very often. But this is one of the maps where he can, and he is so impactful when he has it. And so to not have the economy to grab it, it's kind of devastating, I feel like, for him. Like, if that could really be the X factor. If that Trailblazer ran right by, and I don't know that it would have seen how quick this mid push is happening. Yeah, the timing's unreal, but Victor gets the kill anyway. Well done, Victor.
That timing in response. Understanding that they didn't want to just give up mid for free, so Victor went to go take that position, and he did just that, finding that first kill. He has since given it up. That's a pretty good way to halt a push. Then we look to find their way back into this one. Down 2 rounds. This one would cut that deficit in half. And on the rifles, so again, early in this game, when neither team's really gotten anything going, it's kind of been back and forth. That economy this is where it's the most important. Speaking of most important, Mummy in one of the most important spots here is Effie's queued up the wall, not able to find that barrier orb down at the right time. The kill is going to be traded out, and from the shadow is going to be used. That way Caboose can make his way onto the site with his teammates, and through the dark cover they go. They're finding the kills, and Vanity needs to do something heroic here, or else Envy will find their third.
Yeah, it's looking pretty likely at this point. He doesn't have time either on his side to kind of try to work this out. And Victor, a hat-trick round from start to finish. He had so much impact in this one, catching that mid-push where I thought maybe Penny would get a timing based on the Trailblazer not detecting him coming out of Ramen. But Victor on the ropes, able to get that, swing back around, catches 2 more, puts Envy to 3, keeps the game close. This is how it started. And then, again, Victor finishing it off as well.
And that is how it ended, which Victor is a player to be highlighted, right? He is the head-to-head. They're both on Raze, both Zelsis and Victor. So we're expecting him to be at the top doing his job as a duelist, and he is doing exactly that thus far. That round being a big one. The economy's still good for version 1. Unfortunately, this might hurt a bit. The boom bot chases him down, and the showstopper goes a bit wide. Not even going to find any splash damage, so an ultimate wasted there.
Yep, Zelsis and company, again, trying to put that mid-pressure in. Trailblazer comes in, lands perfectly. Mummy not going to go off of it. You can understand why. It could have been maybe not the dice roll he was kind of hoping for this early in the round in this type of moment with the credits. But here comes the blast packing. Showstopper right past Mummy. Able to stop it. Effie's able to get the entry onto B Heaven. Onto Mummy to trade it back, but still no real progress made onto the site just yet, and Victor still stands firm here in the stairs.
And that is not a crosshair you want to walk into. Penny's already done that, and Crashes get caught trying to come up the rope. Victor now might find a bit of action in this round, playing still towards those heaven stairs. He is going to back away as they look to split it up, and the Cosmic Divide actually used over towards A, so it might be enough to buy a rotation. Envy, they're privy to this. They're just going to hold it down.
Yeah, they're not buying it. They are not even remotely thinking about it. And this kind of has a different type of impact. What if this Astra gets all the way around and backstabs him and still allows him to pinch B? The problem is his spike is isolated, and it's in a lot of trouble. But it dashes right by Finesse. It has a chance now.
He just has to run.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. Does he's not? Oh my god, that's so close.
Wow. I mean, Finesse doing everything he could. He found that first kill on the spike carrier, couldn't find the next. Miss Penny doing a great job just getting away. Catch me if you can, he says, as the spike does get planted. Victor holding things down up in heaven. Whippy has since made his way all the way around, was playing over towards that B site. Now playing back towards screens. Has the Viper's Pit available and is going to choose to use it, but this is going to force them to either come from heaven or towards A main, and Penny is here to shut him down. It's a 3K for the Jet.
Nicely done by Penny. Again, just sprinting whenever we saw Vanity clear out A site. Again, kind of using that Cosmic Divide as somewhat of a fake, but also a way to maybe backstab and clear the site. Does just that. Penny able to dash, get the plant with about a second and a half to spare, and then comes up big in the end to finish it off with a hat trick of his own. Maybe responding to Victor's in the previous. And now they will hold Envy off from time the game. They build the lead up to 5-3. Money's still available for some of Envy, so they are going to get a few rifles in play, but Mummy just on the daggers. Caboose just on the frenzy. Oh!
Wow.
You love to see it and hate to see it at the same time, man. Just depends on your perspective, I suppose, as he's not done yet either. Finds Finesse.
And that was, I believe, 2 of 3 rifles in that round. Caboose able to pick something up. It's the pistol to get it done, but that's going to be just about it. Crashies there to swing on the outside. He's going to toss out the Hawk. They don't look away, and Penny finds another 3K. Mummy could go good for 3. Has the daggers, full HP, and a whole lot of utility to use. The spike yet to be planted. There's the resurrection, and now things get a whole lot more difficult for the Jet.
Indeed, they do. By a solid percentage. Would you say 25%? I don't know. I'm not supposed to be doing math on the fly. It's the worst nightmare. Speaking of nightmares, I mean, it's kind of one of those rounds where I feel like they were fairly invested. I mean, they went all the way in as best they could, but they were still well behind when it was all said and done. And now they are going to finally get the operator on Mummy. It's sad it's taken till round 10 to finally let him have it, but that's just the situation they've been in with these rounds being so close and it being kind of back and forth and their economy just never really being there. But the problem is they can't really buy around it so much. Like, it's going to be Spectres only for everyone else. There is a Neural Theft and Seekers available, so there might be able to work something out based on that, but at least you give your star a shot to be a star, if that makes any sense. I don't know if you call him former star. I guess he's been somewhat overshadowed, as Bach was kind of indicating the selflessness of the player to take up more supportive roles and facilitate people like Victor and such to kind of take on that role. But now he is on this map, their star with this op. What impact can he have?
Oh, spotted out. Behind the box there is Victor. Paint Shell's going to go up top, try and push him away. Nice little bit of chip damage. 70 health remaining on the raise for Envy. He backs away, and that spike moves on over. Vanity is going to get tagged up. A very scary spot to be inside the cage. Up on top of heaven was a 70 HP raise, and he's still able to find a kill from the grave. And there's the operator online. Mummy picks up one, looks to reposition as Penny holds things down on the side. Is going to use that cloud burst to get the spike down. It is a 3v3 with the Seekers online. You're going to know exactly where they're headed. Paranoia to cut the lights out. Penny looking to swing. The run-in gun is there, but now in a 1v2, Vanity has to get something done, and there's the star shining bright.
Like I said, it's always a treat when you do get to see Mummy op. I feel like people have forgotten at times just how good he is with that weapon and just how good he can be as that, you know, jet op. Yeah, I mean, you got guys out there like Wardell, like Shazam. There's several others that you would point to that do a great job with it, but Mummy's right up there with him when he gets the opportunity to play it. It's just, again, he's had to do other things, help facilitate the team on other maps with other players and how all the roles kind of shake down. But finally, with an op in his hands and a round that was labored, again, they had to get Spectres to surround it. It wasn't ideal. He gets a big triple, and he holds off V1 from building up a bigger lead, and this allows him to collect some weapons, you know? It allows him to kind of now get into more of a full buy type situation. Gravwell there to try to slow down Envy being aggressive at B lobby, ensures that V1 will do it. Daggers in play for Penny. Looking to try to just get in here. But the Trailblazers are going to detect this.
And maybe only spots one, maybe two on the dash on through. There's the barrier orb going to be used to try and stop the spray.
What a well-timed paint shell, though.
Now, buys just some more space. The spike yet to be planted, as we do see it finally going down. FB's going to be doing that. Penny's going to go wide with the daggers to start things off. But Vanity and Victor going to work. It's a couple of kills going back and forth, and Victor finds a third. Looks for some more, but he gets sat down. The showstoppers have just been so lackluster thus far. And speaking of showstoppers, Zelsis looking to put on a show. A 1v2, a couple of blast packs to his name. And time on his side. He's going to get spotted out by Finesse. He takes down the operator, and he's still so incredibly healthy. He hears the drop down, the blast pack peak, but Finesse closes it out.
Indeed, plenty of time to get this diffused off. A battle of two different boom bots. One getting stuck in a Gravwell for 90% of its life. The other getting a frag. And Envy able to make that retake work. It came down to a 1v1 in the end, which is closer than I would have expected. It seemed like that Caboose and Crashy's combo with the Trailblazer and Paranoia was great. I thought that paint shell that came over the wall was going to be a little bit more devastating than it was, but you could just see that there was just a scrap, and Victor really getting two massive kills that really kind of set the pace for Envy to make that retake work. They'll keep the operator in Mummy's hands. They're still having to rebuy Spectres, though, because these rounds are coming so close, and the credits are just so fragile. But the thing is, they're able to at least still have a pretty good full buy coming into this last round, and a chance to still tie this game up before we switch sides. Oh, what?
6-6 is a whole lot better this time around for Envy, since the last two times these teams meet, as the controllers are going to meet, and unfortunately, Caboose meets his fate. He will fall. Whippy to pick that one up as the toxic screen stays alive for a moment longer. Zelsis might not say the same. 44 HP and no way to heal up.
Dude.
Never mind. There is the healing orb available.
Yeah, that op shot missed by Mummy allows him to get B heaven really fast, and the B defense was not really ready for it. Now we see Crash is isolated with the smoke there in the back hall. If he's good for one at least, that's about the best he kind of could have hoped for given the situation of just being stranded. But Envy's starting to fight back. Victor fights Effie's. It's back into a 3 versus 3. How have they done this? They actually still have a shot at it now.
And it was a cloudburst battle through the smoke for Crashies, and this time it was a battle through the dark cover. Now the Cosmic Divide going to be used, and this is one of very few instances where we get to see this ultimate, but how can they play off the back end? There's no real way to push your way through outside of just dashing through. You don't have a curveball, you don't have a flash, you don't have any of the sky smokes, no guiding lights, but you do have Mummy only for a moment. Now Vanity in a 1v1 needs to go huge against Finesse here. It's the captain for Envy. It's the spray down for Vanity, and it's 7-5 at the half for version 1.
Yeah, IGL versus IGL. As you said, that Cosmic Divide can be really difficult to push through in a retake. You do see Mummy go out top with the daggers and is able to get his teammate into a 1v1 where you had, you know, to force the peak with the defusal, but Vanity still coming out on top. And a very close half when it's all said and done. Again, both these teams usually a bit better on the defense, and the fact that Envy defensively got limited to 5 rounds is a little bit tough, honestly. I mean, again, you consider that they're like 66% win rate defensively. That's definitely leaving you kind of to wonder.
The last time they met, Envy picked up 1 round on defense. Now it was a little different story. It was 10-2 at the half, and it was their rifle round against the bonus that they ended up winning.
Right.
But this bodes incredibly well to get this start. Now you can see that the adjustments have been made. Caboose taking a very aggressive position, getting all the way through with the shrouded steps up towards Raptors. He is going to be answered back. The one and done position does its job as Vanity is taken down to 49 HP. Victor trying to find the spray down. Vanity is actually the one to find that kill. We're back and forth. Whippy picks one up, and Mummy has to go clutch again. He's got 1 HP. It's only going to take one shot to the head to sit Penny down as the defuse comes through. It is just going to be a fake for now. They're playing the ring around the Rosie, around the pillar, and Mummy's A-okay to play this game. It doesn't bother him at all as a Cloudburst goes through. Another tap on it, and Mummy doesn't have the shots. It's Penny instead, and it's version 1 again to find the pistol.
Yeah, on their favored side, defense, and able to get the pistol to kick things off in the right direction. With that plan, Envy has some options. Not sure how aggressive they want to be with their spending, though. Kind of a precarious place to be. You want to make sure you can get your full buy out as soon as possible when you're playing from behind and you're on the half where, again, they're not as strong as their defense. And so they will indeed just kind of go for the frenzy there on finesse. Not going to invest too much into this one. Just a couple of upgraded pistols here and there. Maybe a couple of abilities being purchased. And that's going to leave V1 in a great spot to go ahead and find 9, you'd have to imagine.
That's gonna giving away the cards. He has a frenzy. Oh, the shrouded step this time gonna be right in the face of Vanity, and they're just running at the guns of version 1. No hope to hurt the economy here as a flawless round in response. It's what you expect in the anti-eco, but not what you were hoping for if you're an Envy fan.
No, not at all. Again, when you think about Envy's track record, Split has been at the top of their pool. They've only dropped it a couple of times. Really, this whole year, right? They lost to Sentinels in the quarterfinals of Winter Championship. They lost to Immortals in a very, tight game. And then they had that one big loss to version 1, but they've beaten XSET 4 times. They've beaten Renegades, Energy, LG, Equinox. I mean, you name it. They've really been putting in the work on this map. It's a big part of why they've been so successful, and it's betraying them right now in such a big moment. At least for now. But that's just their end of it. Obviously, V1, to their credit, played a brilliant attacking side. We're able to get a lot out of their aggression.
Victor following close behind the boombot. He's going to grab full control of ropes here. Doesn't mean control of A heaven. The rest of the squad up towards mid. Trying to fight for that B heaven control. They do blast their way through that barrier. That's not going to be Sanctuary any longer. The brakes are going to be hit. Effys tosses out his last slow orb. And Nebula Smoke, just for a second, it is going to be pulled back. But they're buying, again, so much time. The delay tactics here from the defense of version 1 really doing their job. And we've seen multiple times just throughout the history, Effys able to buy a bit more time, jump peeking. Now they know the hit's going to be on the site, but again, you do not want to be playing against this clock. You do not want to have to force the plant. Delsis and Effys gonna go good for a couple of kills. Victor battles it back all by himself. He picks up 3. He's got 1 HP. A favorable trade overall towards Envy as the spike gets planted. Now in a 2v1. Victor will finally fall. Bulldog from Whippy takes him down. Things are even.
Indeed, Victor's done a great job putting his team into a spot where they could maybe put a stop to V1. This 2v2 retake is looking a lot like V1 don't want anything to do with it. I mean, they're taking their time here, making sure they're not getting flanked. Now they start making their way in. They're taking a long time, though, to start pressing the site. There's the high-low stack in the back. The Astro utility comes in, a good little stun. But Envy and company battle their way through, still get the frag. Now all on Whippy, and that is just such a tough spray transfer to try to make. You can't really fault them for that one. What a round from Envy, and a lot of it is off of Victor.
This was absolutely huge. It was 2 quick kills battled back, and then finding a third right here.
That's unreal.
That's all you could ask for.
I mean, it looked like the best round for Envy at the jump. Like, it looked like they were really struggling. I mean, the grav well was slowing them down. It seemed like V1 had a pretty good read on how they were rotating and preparing for that attack, but sometimes a guy just breaks loose and makes a big individual play, and Victor has been such a strong duelist in the scene for such a long time.
Now, that was the bonus for version 1, so the firepower was in favor. It doesn't really excuse the falling to victor.
This
3
was
players
interesting.
doing just that.
So they boosted Vanity with the blast back into the corner. So if they test B and they go through B lobby and they don't, and they see like Raze somewhere else, would they would never expect Vanity to be in that corner, right?
Yeah, same. I mean, similar thing to what we saw Cloud9 doing earlier, where if you see the Jet, you see the Raze, you think, okay, there's no way somebody's boosted, and it's the dynamic defense.
Yeah. So again, if you spot Raze anywhere else on the map, and then you decide to go ahead and attack into B, it's just not going to maybe expect Vanity to be there. But it may not come into play. I just think it's kind of a neat trick that could eventually have impact.
There's the Jet. So I would think now the spike headed over towards A, but that was all the information gathered that version 1, I guess, needed to give away for them to try and make a play with Vanity up in the corner. Unfortunately, the spike's going the opposite direction, but the paint shells were there. They spotted Penny on the cross. And they are going to just head the other way with both duelists there. Whippy through the smokes, able to find Victor. Mummy looking to go aggressive, though. This time the right click lands true for 2. FB's to sit him down, but we're even in a 3v3 and that spike to be planted.
What a wild headshot to get if you're Whippy there. It looked like he was still just full sprinting and just catches like a crazy headshot kind of through his smoke a bit. So keeps his team in a even 3-on-3 because of that frag on this retake. Great paranoia slowing down, though, this screens rotation from V1. Double corner positions here from Envy. Can they stop this push? They need to stop if you aren't getting double digits.
And Finesse inside the Nebula smoke. Flop on the weapon from FBs. Looks to find the first kill. Caboose is going to trade him back. Finesse pushes out, and now we find ourselves just to Caboose because they mowed him down. The hold is there in the post plan, and Envy will pick up another.
So Envy are chipping away at this big lead. Again, both these teams known mostly for their defenses on split, as a lot of teams, honestly, had that defensive kind of sway, as the map just kind of designed that way, really. But here we go. Envy on the verge of tying this thing up. V1 don't have much to say about it this round. They do have the judge on Whippy. They have some upgraded pistols here and there, but that's really about it. Victor and Mummy and company are really starting to heat up after maybe some slower starts than what we would have expected. Viper's Pit being sent here by Whippy to try to defend A and allow his team to gamble a bit more towards B and middle, seeing as they don't have as much to work with. This is kind of how you have to play it to give yourself a chance.
This could have been a really cool play if they put Vanity back in that corner and then use that Viper's Pit over towards A, right? Because then it kind of forces a B hit. Even if that site is stacked, we wouldn't have that rotate back to A. Obviously, that is not going to be the case. But corralled for now are Envy up towards B heaven. Our cover going to come on through and try and buy a bit of space and a bit of time. Cloudburst tossed out, but they just have no way in here.
They threw everything in the kitchen sink at B heaven right there. I mean, slow orbs, paint shells, you name it. V1 tossed it, and it does force Envy to reroute. They're still looking for the B split, but they're now going to have to pivot a little bit more towards B main itself. Vanity trying to set up some stars to maybe try countering this push out of B heaven. We do see Victor, though, looking to blast back his way to the showstopper. It's going to land the mark onto Effie's, and he still stands to do more. Zeus is the only frag that happens on the B side in favor of V1, but that changes now with Whippy. But it may not matter.
Yeah, Penny just getting timinged there, trying to sneak away from the Seekers. The dink comes through. Crashy finds 4 on the round. Now the lead, only 1 for version 1, and it was looking pretty good for a second. Envy, they've definitely done their research. They've done their homework. They've made adjustments, and they made split a lot closer of an affair this time around.
Yeah, indeed, that's Crashy's the other kind of star for my money on Envy. Probably, I mean, he's no doubt top 3 Sova in the region. It's hard to say who's number 1 for sure, but Crashy's definitely gonna have to be up there. But he's also been able to implement Sky very effectively on this map, and again, he's like top 5 in ADR and ACS for the tournament so far here in the Challengers Final. So definitely one of those guys that can support his team while also fragging out. That's a big quad kill from him that round to help this, you know, push forward from Envy to tie this thing up. Full buy though, back in the play, and Caboose puts it right between Vanity's eyes through the smoke. A devastating blow to V1 as they try to hold off this comeback effort from Envy.
And Resurrection available, but not safe enough to go for it just yet until they get a bit of information that nobody's playing that B main area and holding that. So it is going to come through. This is a big round to pick up. This is version 1 back on rifles. Penny able to find one, putting things back in version 1's favor because of that resurrection. We're not all even across the board. Nice gravity well, slow orb, paint shells, but the shots are on target. Caboose has his teammates back. Unfortunately, Victor does eventually fall, and that still leaves version 1 in the driver's seat.
It does, indeed. We're seeing Envy still trying to test the waters. Mummy dashing through with that smoke, but no such ability for Caboose. And now Penny and Effie's will clean things up. No tie yet, at least, as V1 will win the race to double digits here, jumping up to 10. Envy, of course, still have buying power, but a couple of their players actually a little bit less for wear on credits than maybe you'd think. As V1 just put up such a stout defense, a tactical coming out from Envy to maybe figure out how they want to spend those credits and how they want to work this out, because it's getting to a place where it's starting to get to kind of your last chance, at least for Split. You know, and so they will indeed get a rifle for Crashies at least. There's definitely enough money for Mummy to go for whatever he so chooses. Victor, you know, could still pretty much do armor, you know, whatever rifle he wants. But it's really Finesse and Caboose that are going to have to go, you know, like pistol or whatever the case may be. So they're going to go with the Crashies raid boss play. They're going to go Sheriff everyone else. And, of course, they have Finesse's, you know, Neural Theft. Crashies is not too far off Seekers, so they can get an orb. Makes me wonder, Mummy had the most credits and still only bought a Sheriff. Is he trying to maybe op next round? Obviously, opping on attacking side isn't as popular as defense, but Mummy's definitely one of those guys that could be an X factor with it.
Yeah, we saw the impact. I believe he only had it a couple of times, or at the very least was only able to use
like
it
twice
a couple of
in
times.
The first half, yeah.
Yeah, it was, I think the first time he was in a retake situation, and that's when he used the knives, and unfortunately the knives went a little wide.
I want to say it was round 10 before he got an operator in his hands in the first half. So, yeah, definitely didn't get to put his best foot forward as far as what he's really capable of.
Don't give them ground.
I think what's even more interesting is it's not Penny with the op on version 1, it's Whippy. Oh, so much information. Zelsis, they're trying to do something cheeky here. Unfortunately, gonna get sniffed out by the Trailblazer, and the shots come through. Mummy finds one, looking for some more. The flash, though, it's a self-flash, and Zelsis continues to frag out here. Vanity right there behind him, and they tried to make it explosive. They tried to make it quick. It was just the operator over here towards this A site, and it does fall into the hands of Finesse.
That's
but the
big.
spike way down by the spawn. And if you're Finesse right now, if you're an Envy fan, if you're Envy anything, you're really hoping that he makes it away with this one, because version 1 are on the hunt.
Yeah, I mean, getting that op over to the next round and allowing more credits to be spent to maybe drop people other weapons or prioritize other abilities would definitely be pretty huge. But yeah, it's never going to happen, is it? That would have been a nice bonus, right? But there's still money is there if they want an operator. That's kind of why Mummy, you know, didn't really go for it. And yeah, 6,400 credits. I mean, honestly, with the way things are going, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Again, I know it's not as popular on the attack, but Mummy is that kind of player that can make magic happen, and maybe that's the adjustment they need to make to keep this comeback pushing forward. So we do have a bit of a tech pause this time around, so hopefully that won't take too long.
I wonder if that's why the operator died to the Sheriff. Not to take anything away from Finesse in that round. We just didn't get to see it, and that it does seem fairly unlikely. In that long-range battle, you definitely put the operator ahead. But in terms of, I guess, momentum, right? We're obviously seeing a lot closer affair this time around on Split. I think this bodes very well, because this is the first map. So you've got some breathing room if you're version 1, right? Last time Split was map number 2, and then you kind of go into that do or die. Here we go. We need to reverse sweep in our best of 3. This is a great way, if they do close out this game, to get the series started, to kind of, I guess, relieve some of the pressure, because they do have 2 more maps to look at. They do have 1 map that they can drop. Obviously, that's not the case. You don't want that, but I think it definitely helps in a situation where there's already so much pressure just because of the stakes.
Yeah, that's fair. A little bit of a buzzkill this tech pause. We're in the thick of it, man. We're chomping at the bit to get back going. So much on the line. Envy, again, a team you really think would have been in the upper bracket for longer than they were, have been able to kind of grind their way forward. But V1 is, again, that team that hasn't been around too long, but have already kind of made a little bit of noise throughout the VCT, I feel like. Again, you know, qualifying for Challengers 1 by beating up teams like Renegades and FaZe. Had some wins over BBG and Cloud9 in the main event of Challengers 1. That's how they were able to start working their way towards being a part of this Challengers Finals. And I mean, again, there's some players on there that have been performing, right? I mean, Zelsis and Penny in particular have been big names. They have a couple of experienced players along the way also. And yeah, you really think that Envy coming as a pretty heavy favorite, but again, Split is kind of like one of the matches you put them to use as leverage from that, you know, favorite position. And they have already lost to VERSION1 once on this map in such a one-sided fashion, but it never really failed you anywhere else on a regular basis, and now it's coming back to haunt you again. The thing is, it's not as if they don't have a match that they can play very well. I mean, they've definitely been, you know, pretty solid on bind lately, I would say. Like, that's definitely been like another pretty go-to map for them. So, I mean, they have other options, but yeah, Split, you would think they get it done. I mean, they've lost their last 4 games in a row on Ascent, so that's kind of been a struggle for them lately, and you kind of wonder, like, where else were you supposed to go? So they've lost the last 3 out of 4 Icebox games as well, so it seems like they've had a couple other sides of their map will kind of crumble, and so, again, you expect Split to be it for them, and it still could be. Don't get me wrong. They're still in the hunt. They're not out of it just yet. They have a full buy coming up here after this tech pause, and that's Last Chance Saloon, though.
Yeah, it really is. 11-8, the score line. So, yeah, you lose this one, and then it's sticks and stones. It's the yard sale buy coming in to map point, which would be, you know, again, I think what this shows is the adjustments made. It's not the same 13-4 that we saw version 1 over Envy, which probably bodes well for the next couple of maps.
Right.
And I think looking into Haven 2, Envy, I feel like throughout the existence of time, have been in North America one of the most consistent teams, and I feel like one of the better, like, defaulty teams, playing that slow style, right? Letting Finesse kind of work his magic, work his brain as the brain of the team. And Haven is a map where you can start to do that. So I think if they do fall here, things look pretty good going into that one, but I don't want to knock anybody out just yet, because we do still have this one underway. We're back in it. The players are all on the line, and it is, in fact, an operator in the hands of Mummy here.
Indeed, kind of what we thought based on the purchasing of the previous round, how many credits he had to spare. They're trying to work their way up middle right now. Zelfs is coming into vents. The smoke fade timing could be pivotal. Effie's boosting over the top of another smoke to try to get some vision onto middle. Not going to happen. In the meantime, Crashies takes Zelsis out in that vent position. So that's going to give some map control to Envy plus man advantage here early in this round. And they haven't even had to show their hand about that operator yet. And now that Neural Theft comes into play.
And I mean, not too telling, right? Just because you are a player ahead, it doesn't mean taking either of these sites is free. It's a 2-2 split, so they do still have to do their due diligence, making sure they're pushing up nice and slow. Mummy kind of being that tip of the spear. Crashies right there to swing should they need it. And there it is. The wall goes down, and it's not Crashies, it's Victor right behind Mummy to pick up a couple of kills. And I mean, off the back end of a tactical, off the back end of a technical, looking to make things flawless.
Yeah, it's looking pretty darn good. They barely even lost health. Victor taking a couple little licks here and there, but nothing really to speak of. And so looking pretty solid for Envy to hang on, stop V1 from getting to that map point as it continues to go flawless. Whippy just trying to save this operator, but he's going to get pinched. Now they know where he is. Can he take anybody with him is the question. The answer? A resounding nah, Chief.
Nah, Chief.
I feel like that maybe was not the best, but felt like no would just be too boring.
True. I mean, it got the point across.
It did.
Added a bit of flavor on it. I think this right here, I love this replay because this was another time that version 1 tried to do something a little wonky with the barrier orb, and it just didn't work. Zelsis got spotted out by the Trailblazer in rounds previous, and then FB's kind of gives himself up, shooting a little too prematurely there. And there's just not much you can do off the back end of that. So it just stinks that they're going for creativity as the Jiggle Peaks come through from Crashies. They get the information. At least one playing up. Now two. If they spotted out that it was the Sage, they know that also the Raze is here. So Zelsis is no longer in ropes.
Right. Doubling up on that B Heavens defense here is going to be V1. Put that wall up, though, to block off that mailroom access. In the meantime, Envy just reinforcing their mid control with the Boombot to clear out vent position. They're setting up for a B split. At least that seems to be the thought, but they're going to feint A Heaven first. They're going to try to put that pressure there, maybe keep people in place, maybe even cause a bit of a rotation, threaten that ropes rotation. But it seems like based on the positioning of this operator and Caboose that they do eventually want to try to lay into this area. They're setting up Mummy for the pick, and they have no idea he's going to swing out. He gets the timing, and to do that through two Astra Stars just sitting there, that's bold, and it worked. Because, I mean, at any moment they could have set off, and it would have ruined them.
Another kill to come on through. It's Victor and Crashies. Answer back. This is the dynamic duo that we talked about. Both getting picked up together, playing for this team now. Crashies, unfortunately, to fall. Victor not there to trade it out. Penny spots the spike down on the A side. Mummy with the operator. Up close and personal, wins the battle, and Vanity with just a Spectre has 3 to worry about right in front of him, and more directly, Victor right in front of him. He will fall. Envy, they match the double digits, but they still trail by 1.
Indeed they do. That 1 stops the tie, but they're stampeding towards it, and credits are starting to run a little bit low here for V1. Again, Mummy gets an operator in his hands, and he's had impact ever since on this attacking side. Victor continues to be strong. Again, one of those top 5 players so far in the tournament, and most metrics continues to pop off. He's at 19, Mummy just behind at 18. Pretty good production out of the whole lineup, really. Starting to matching, Vanity, Penny, and Whippy and company that's been, popping off on the opposing side. And now they have Victor's Showstopper as an option to blast pack and flash and dash into this beast fight against a low buy. A chance to tie this thing up here and now, Tanner. You'd like their odds.
It's not a full stack. It's a B split. 2 to 2. 2 on site. 2 in heaven. One gonna drop down. Victor to fall, and Zelsis picked one up with the paint shells. Whippy to sit it down. Unfortunately, the Showstopper doesn't find the kill, but they've already done so much damage. And what is Valorant, Dust? What is going on? This was Envy's round to win, and they're down to their last 2.
It was. They dove for the flash and dash with the blast packs of Victor, but he never uses a Showstopper. He just tries to go with the rifle, and he misses his kill. Victor collects nothing. And so V1 responds with 3 quick kills, and now Penny pushes down middle with the daggers, and they get a flawless victory on what was essentially their save. This couldn't have gone worse for Envy. They can re-afford the Mummy operator, but now they have to just try to force overtime. That crumbled so hard.
I should play some Astro Stars in this reality.
And now V1 called a tactical to ice the kicker a little bit here, and what can be a very clutch moment. And I would have never expected that result based on how Envy were setting up, based on V1's positioning and firepower. I really would have thought the Showstopper comes out. Maybe Victor just hoping to save it for like the next rifle round instead. But you got to land the mark with the rifle if you're going to play it that way. And he just, again, he misses the mark. Creates the opportunity for V1.
And now, so for this tactical, it makes me wonder how much of it is just to regain composure, right?
I'm sure
because
a lot of it, yeah.
I can't speak for everybody in the scene when it comes to players, and I apologize, I'm outing myself a little bit. I didn't really follow CSGO esports too directly. It wasn't something that I was always watching constantly, so a lot of the names do escape me when it comes to outside of the larger names in it. But this event right here, for a lot of these players, is quite possibly the biggest they've ever been able to play in, and the stakes are the highest they've ever been. So when you're looking at map 1, 12 to 10, version 1, making this run against this Envy squad, you have to think there's so many things running through their minds.
No, that's fair. we see them break the wall and try to start coming into A. They're trying to creep in on Effie's here. Effie spots it though.
No
responds
way.
well. Penny peeks out the operator as well. It looks like it's going to be the beginning of the end for Split for Envy.
Vanity had a huge flank there. Mummy trying to be the hero that this team needs. Picks up the first, but needs to find 4 more. Penny low on HP. He's going to spot him out. The high to low. It goes the way of Mummy. The operator in hand. The dash on through has the spike in hand, but it's looking to get crazy. Unfortunately, it's not crazy enough. FB's closes it out. Version 1 close it out, and they grab map 1.
Some of the pistols and like early half like problems and still be very potent. Again, like on average, Haven for this version 1 team has been really strong. They're at like near an 80% win rate on the map. They have near a 65% attacking win rate. They're 50-50 on the defense. They've been able to beat really solid teams. Their only real losses were to Envy and like Sentinels. So, I mean, when you look, they're beating FaZe, they're beating Cloud9 Blue, they're beating Xset, they're beating BBG. They've been able to beat a lot of really good teams. And again, when you look at Envy, yes, historically speaking, overall, Haven's been pretty good for this team. But recently, they've kind of had their struggles, right? I think they've only won 4 of their last 7, 3 being losses. And yeah, they definitely have some rough patches at times on this map. It's definitely better than it used to be, like back in 2020, where it was like really up in the air for them. They definitely have improved throughout the majority of 2021, but they've hit a couple of bumps in the road recently. You'd still pick Envy as your favorite. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to indicate that they come into this as some type of underdog, but I'm just saying the opportunity is out there for V1 to kind of correct what went wrong last time around against Envy on Haven and potentially cause a little bit of problems.
And I am a little sad because there are a few instances where Whippy brought out the Viper on this map. Instead, is going to go back to something a bit more defaulted. They don't want to do away with the Sentinel as a whole, and they are going to bring that Killjoy into this. So it's basically kind of, it's mirrored when it comes to utility, and then the duelists are just on that comfort.
You don't often see Killjoy v Killjoy on Haven. Like Cypher is still very strong on this map, though it's a little bit harder to implement some of his stuff because of the Astra utility being able to affect some of his timing. So let's see how that plays out, as we're going to see Envy wasting no real time. Again, a very explosive team, and so you're going to see them rush into A immediately, and they get the entry onto Effie's. Penny able to strike back, however. It's short-lived as Finesse makes sure that Envy had the advantage as the spike goes down.
Spike planted kind of in an awkward spot. Something a little different than we usually see. A bit closer out towards that A-long area. Penny trying to find any shots on target. Unfortunately, target acquisition. Nobody peeking his way. Paint shells push him away for a second. It is still that man advantage for Envy. Turret. It gets some info. The high-low stacked up here. The full damage as Finesse nets 1. Victor's there in Vanity. Now needs to find 4 on the round. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do that. Mummy closes it out. The imposter has fallen, and Envy pick up the pistol.
Important for them to set the tone. Again, very reminiscent of what happened last time these two met. Just being able to get those early hot starts.
Last player standing.
Oh, that's
I was wondering what happened to Pity. Oh, brother. A tough one for sure, but again, Envy are going to keep this pace up, and it's one of the maps that really plays to their strength of that faster attacking speed, because you know defense can usually be spread. Then they have to play for early information or gamble, and you can try to punish that by the map just being so large and rotations being so long. And again, as Bach was kind of indicating, it's one of the maps where you get the Victor on the Phoenix, and he can be very powerful on this agent.
Oh. Penny again trying to find something. Caboose takes a bit of damage, but a kill still swings the way of Envy as they continue to punish this anti-eco. 2 on the flank. We met here by Finesse. The spike planted and heard the footsteps. Now Finesse has to know that they are just looking for exits, and I guess the smart play would be just to run the other way. That way you are not giving anything over, right? You want that flawless second round, so you're having a pretty solid bonus. Sure.
Victor already has to run it back, by the way, so that means that their bonus round is even more interesting. Like, being on the bonus can sometimes take you back against the full buy, but having that run it back really allows you to like strike hard and fast in close quarters and maybe be able to overwhelm the technically superior firepower that will be purchased by V1 coming up. in Envy's life on the line in this map, and they're doing great these couple of rounds to try to at least stay in the hunt. Survive with all 5 players.
Just, I know that play wasn't much at the end for Vanity. He was kind of just running to sacrifice himself, but can we just reflect back for a second to us almost seeing a ninja defuse earlier in the day?
Yes, we can.
That's just so crazy. I was thinking that maybe Vanity was going for something like that at the end, but then the clock started ticking faster and there's just no time for it. But what a day of Valorant it has been. Now it's about to be a day as Version 1 have since come online here in Haven. They're able to purchase basically full rifles across the board. Unfortunately, Vanity's still sitting on just that Spectre, so maybe too much into the utility. Oh my goodness, Victor trying to get some information there. Just had nowhere to go with the grab swarm combo.
That was big.
He gets sent right back. Penny chipped away. Finesse taking off the board. Victor to follow. In the first buy round for Version 1, looking good thus far.
Yeah, really well done to cancel out that all. You know, that's kind of like the ace up the sleeve of Envy on the bonus was to send Victor forward to try to create some havoc and to cancel him out. And now you have a 5-on-3 retake opportunity. But Caboose, deep in enemy lines, not being funneled out into mid on B post, but able to just kind of start really chipping away at these rotations before they can even really get started. Caboose having so much impact here.
Vanity has 6 health. They're able to find one more kill here in this one, but they have to try and find a defuse as well, and it's planted over towards that A connector area. Crashies does have one more shock dart to the name, only going to take a bit of damage. Whippy tries to trade things out. Vanity somehow staying alive and finding a kill with just 6. Whippy was close. The close only gets you so far. The rifle round diversion. 1.
Yeah, Envy, though, really close there. Again, despite the fact that they had the setback with the run it back not working out, and then they also got pushed out at A, and early advantage actually went to V1. Obviously, you're also in the bonus situation, so you kind of know that you're going to be on the back foot. I really like how Caboose pushed out the A link and gave his team a chance. Too often teams in post-plant get funneled into just playing middle or gong. They don't have like garage control or A link, and so you kind of just get pigeonholed on how you can hold post-plant. Caboose gave it a real whirl, got a couple of big kills, but V1 able to keep their composure and still manage the victory. Now we come to our first full-on 5 versus 5 round. And there are Astra Stars literally everywhere.
Defeated.
Okay, then. Goodbye.
Yep. And blood spilled on that C site. An early kill from Crashies. Nice long-range battle. Goes their way. Vandal in hand. And C taken, I mean, quite honestly, for free there. A 4v5, I'm wondering how this goes because you don't have a whole lot, right? There's no real way for you to find an early pick somewhere to then say, yeah, we can win this out. I wonder if it is just going to eventually be a save.
And they're trying to set up those Astra Stars, see if they can't maybe clear out some angles first, or at least limit what they have to be responsible for as they come in. But Caboose smartly pulls out the show tower, testing the water, saying, hey, go for it. Give it a shot. Watch what happens. And so I feel like that is what really kind of forced V1 to just kind of fall back and now try to save, but they're getting picked apart. Caboose with the big headshot in the Vanity, so that weapon's not going to be carried over. So there you have it, Envy. Coming out swinging their tournament life on the line. Winning their first full gun-on-gun round. That should inspire some confidence, right? That things are going well. Things are on the right track. Just got to keep it up. Keep steaming ahead. But again, V1, they've already fit in one round against the bonus, and now they're still able to buy here. So still some chances to kind of thwart Envy's momentum.
A Penny 1 away from the daggers. Oh, no. Okay, they're going to shuffle some stuff around and make sure that the Jet can get a rifle in hand. Whippy with just light shields and a Phantom, which means one headshot from the Phantom does take down that Killjoy. And we actually saw that earlier in that first at the beginning of that last round. One headshot from Crashies was enough. Now Hunter's Fury. No tag, only a tag from the Recon Bolt, and he finds the kill off the back end. Whippy just can't catch a break.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting rocked. Just back-to-back times, he's just been foiled early at C, leading to a quick plant and an advantage for Envy. The flank also going to get detected by this drone here in just a second, so no chance at Zealous is pulling the wool over their eyes, making this retake even more difficult than it already was based on the fact that they were a man behind. But Zealous actually gets Crashies anyway. And so this retake still has some teeth to it, but Victor holding it off.
And Zelsis only able to find one on the flank as Vanity goes for the run and gun. Effie's able to find an upgrade. 16 rounds in the chamber, though. Needs to do something insane at the end of this one. And a 1v2, Mummy's going to find the kill. And, I mean, what can you even do, right? You're setting up your Killjoy solo on C site. One round you peek, and you just get deleted immediately. The next one they say, hey, man, just play back. We'll play retake as 5. You get spotted by a recon bolt and then ulted?
Later, bro.
What do you... I feel so bad for Whippy.
Yeah, he's getting the short end of the stick, I guess you could say, as we're going to see Finesse already with the ult here. The lockdown, obviously a very big tool for post plants and takes, so giving Envy that edge. Also, the firepower advantage for Envy is way out there.
Standing ahead.
So, chance for Envy to keep this lead flowing. Effie's trying to go for the orb here. He will be able to get it. Just trying to work on that Hunter Suri for later. Other than that, though, again, everything looking solid for Envy into this one.
Penny did activate the Blade Storm, so they are just trying to find something in this one. That could be enough to find a round. Unfortunately, Effie's caught inside the drone. Zelsis is there to trade it back. Going to work, finds another duelist off the table for Envy. Backing away as Zelsis, unfortunately not able to find an upgrade, but this puts your squad in such a great spot because not only are you finding kills with pistols, but you still have Penny and the Blade Storm to work with.
That is true. This round is starting to go spiraling out of control from Envy's perspective. They are a man down, but they still have that lockdown. They have full C site control now, thanks to Mummy's push.
30 seconds.
So the spike will swing that direction. They also are going to have Crashies kind of playing the rotation cutoff point here. You might get this flank off as well, but look at this. Vanity goes unchecked and gets the kill on the Mummy. Now Crashies will capitalize on the trade, and the lockdown's in play, but still they lose another player earlier than anticipated, and Crashies is kind of saving the day.
Crashies, oh no, Finesse helping save the day there, taking down the knives. Zelsis picked up too early in this one. It does have a Phantom in hand, but it's another very tall task for this squad as the turret gets sprayed down. Lots of time on the spike. Finesse gonna fall, and now a play can be made here. Zelsis can look to get something done. Unfortunately, gonna get tagged twice, so to buy a bit more space and a bit more time. Crashies knows just how he wants to play it, and he doesn't get caught as he sneaks away. It's a 3K in response. And Envy, some way, somehow, they sneak away with the round that should have been in the bag.
That's why Crashies is like one of the best performing solos out there in the region. Just getting some key kills to save the day when things are starting to slip between Envy's fingers. Comes with a big clutch there.
This push right here from Whippy, again, just... I don't want to call that one can't catch a break, but a little too early just to swing like that, and obviously you're staring down the barrel of a Vandal with your Frenzy in hand, so it's a very tough place to be. Whippy definitely having troubles early in this one. Op shot goes wide from Penny, and Zelsis unfortunately pays for it with his life, so the buddy system not working at this time around. Version 1, down a player, Envy in the driver's seat, and they're not ready to give it up yet.
Yeah, they know what's on the line, they know what they must do, and they're putting in the work. Big opening pick in the next buy up from V1. They're getting a very empty A site here, putting the stars down, blocking off those initial rotation points, making sure they're going to secure that site. Spike should be coming down any moment now. Stars are actually starting to slow them down a little bit, making progress on site. Buying time for some rotations here. Effie's going to throw some shot darts out there, make Finesse pay for committing to this plant. But again, Envy are still a step up, and Victor does have that run it back if they need it, but the lockdown comes in from the opposing side, pushing players off the site to help out this retake.
Oh, and the Cosmic Divide.
That's such a great combo.
That's huge. You know they're pushed off the side. Here comes that run it back, so Victor needs to do something heroic here. Crashes to fall. Victor still alive, and the ultimate will eventually be sent back, but now Whippy, who's been struggling thus far, Needs to find 3 more on the round. Fakes the defuse for 1, and Caboose shoots him in the back as he peeks over towards Mummy. It's another round to Envy, and at the very least, an even half.
Yeah, it's just a battle of the wits, right? I mean, it's a great combination to lock down, to make them fall off the site, and then Astro Divide to say, okay, now you have to play through this barrier on top of being pushed off the site, right? But at the say, equally impressive for Envy to say, okay, that's fine. We're going to run it back in recon. And so you recon for perfect intel. Victor gets 2 chances at pushing the barrier to get frags, and does just that. And so they are able to counter a really well-designed play from V1 to try to retake with. And at this point, V1, you're kind of running out of options. Like, what do you do? Like, your economy's in tatters. You tried a couple of different things, whether it be playing for retake or something along those lines. I mean, they could still try playing aggressively, obviously. Like, maybe you use your Asher, try to catch a timing and push sewers and get a pick on A lobby. Or, you know, obviously you could try to set up an op on top of B site and try to take some picks into middle. Or there's different things you could try to do. But so far, nothing's really panned out. Meanwhile, Envy are crushing it right now. Their frag distribution, I mean, look at it. Their top fragger and their 4th best fragger are 1 frag apart. And again, Mummy kind of playing that sacrificial role. You kind of understand where he's coming from as far as where his frag count is. Meanwhile, Effie's still has yet to arrive when it comes to fragging. Penny's struggling to get going. Normally one of the best players on this team. It's really been kind of the Vanity and Zealous show. And Zealous, you expect it, and we know that Vanity is a good fragging leader, but something's got to give here soon, or this is going to be a very quick trip to map 3.
It's always the tactical on this eco round, just to try and slow things down, figure things out as you work the economy to be able to buy into the next. We've seen these thrifty rounds have, okay, there it is. They yield incredible results sometimes. Penny going to pick up the first, and that's spiked down, so they know they're leaning this way.
So I know I mentioned aggression sewers in that little chit chat we had, but I was more meaning next time around. You know what I mean? When you get an op in your hand or something. Penny said, you know, I'll just maybe try that with the sheriff, and well, that's Victor's melon gone. But in the midst of it, Seaside taken for free. It's cleared out. They know it's free. Spike coming in. We're still going to have a great post plant because they're still with superior firepower. They have Hunter's Fury available for post plant, so they can just tuck Crashies into long C, defend him, and basically checkmate that no defuse can ever happen. It's going to rely on some type of flanking maneuver or some big push down long C to try to put Crashies off his perch to try to somehow seal this round away.
And Envy, I feel like, have in full force realized that it's just nobody on C. They're just going to be looking to retake this. Celsius gets pushed away by the grab pulse. Boost is there to find a kill. Toss out the paint shell to try and push him back, but it's Finesse instead with the rifle in hand. Now pushing on through his FBC. He peeks the wrong way. I believe he finds his first in the game, but Mummy picks up 2 in quick response. Up the back end of a tactical pause. V1 drop another round, but here we go. This is the round that the pause was for. They're going to buy up.
Indeed they are. They didn't even have to use the Hunter's Fury either, so they still have that and the Showstopper and a lockdown. I mean, Envy has so many tools to just keep taking sites and keep building up their lead. But, as you said, the buy-up is back, though. Again, Vanity has to go for Spectre, no op for Penny. Yes, Effie has Hunter's Fury to maybe cancel out a lockdown, but they're definitely still very much set back right now.
Oh, that's another great start, but you have to be able to close here if you're version 1. And it's a duelist again, unfortunately. And he dashes right into the wall, maybe trying to give away that he was trying to escape. It could have been a fake. Unfortunately, that drone going to spot him out. Does tag him, and he's going to go up over the top with the upwind and the updraft, excuse me. Be able to escape for now. Running right into Zealous, so still in the same corner. Picks up another kill now. Crashies. Not long for this world. It's a flawless round in response, and the tactical timeout worked, Dust.
It did. Flawless victory, man. Again, it comes off the aggression because you could see that Envy were trying to push through that well. It's so hard to make that happen, though, man. Like, it really just disturbs the timings to give you the edge on the attacking side if you play through that. So it sets up Zelphus defensively to be able to get that initial pick, and then that recon ball literally caught, I think, everyone that was left. And so it sets up the Hunter's Fury to just continue to stall out Envy, continue to buy time for rotations, just build that information base. And then you could tell that at that point, Victor's like, I just have to go for the Hail Mary and just run in there and try to chase down this jet, and it just didn't happen. Gets caught, and so finally V1 are able to get around on the board, but will it be short-lived or not is kind of the next thing you have to ask yourself, because they need a lot more, I feel like, out of this half. They need to be able to push this to, I feel like, at least 4 rounds.
And that's really the best you could hope for. Obviously, 5 the best you could hope for here, but the way that Envy have been running the show.
And with the lockdown and Showstopper still available to explode a site with, I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to stop that. Hunter's Fury no longer available to cancel out the lockdown either, so you feel like that's not necessarily an auto win, but that should give Envy a true edge once they decide to put it to use. As they're taking their time with this one. Like, they're getting Sewers control, they're putting that pressure on A, they're trying to make V1 respect this site, but they're not committed, right? That spike is still, very much at the back of middle. Envy are still, exploring other options. They still have a player in Cubby at long C, so the world is their oyster in that regard, but they still have to break through somewhere and find a pick.
And interesting that they're looking to make a play out towards B. A huge curveball. It saves Caboose's life. Penny was there to have the shots, but he was forced to dash away because he was completely blinded there.
Also,
and again,
that grab
it's the buddy system.
Destroyed that Showstopper, dude.
Yeah.
Like, never gave it a chance. But now the lockdown's in play to control A site, so they're going to get A. No doubt about that. They're going to get the spike planted. And, I mean, Mummy is still at C. I mean, he has to play the biggest long con flank of all time.
Yeah, especially because you're not buying time anymore. You have nothing to help you buy time. So
it's working. He's getting there.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Is this really how the curtain falls for V1 on this round? He's got to step it up now. They're pushing site.
Nova Pulse, grab well, some utility thrown on out. Now Mummy should be romping and stomping here soon. Caboose gonna find the first. That's on to Zelsa, still on low HP as FE's and Vanity. They're gonna swing out towards short and pick it up, and Mummy has made his way onto the site completely unnoticed. In the back lines, he's gonna pick up a couple, but it's not enough. Version 1 running out of time will get it done for a third.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're going to play that type of long con, you have got to hope that your team holds for long enough to still make sure that you have advantage when you come in, or you have to just line up like the spray down of the century. And unfortunately, he kind of got caught wrapping around this sight box. Like, it got picked up early enough to where the rest of the team can kind of respond and not give it a chance to wrap around. Like, look at this. He's coming around, and then he spots, he gets the kill in the killjoy, but Vanity could just come off, right? He had time to stop that from having more impact. So, again, that's a really big dice roll to try to play like that, and if you're going to do it, it absolutely has to have massive impact, and it just didn't. 1 kill wasn't good enough from that position.
It makes you think, right? Hindsight 2020, but if he would have swung to the left side, peeking down the long, he'd have find the backs of 3 and then had to worry about the diffuser.
Yeah, one of those things you just can't ever know.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, tough spots where you either look like a genius or you get memed on. And I think the chat's probably memed on him right now, but don't be too mean.
Memius, if you will. Now pushed onto the side, though, is Victor. Gonna take a bit of damage. Cues up the curveball, but he's a bit late with it. And it's gonna be the Lear to try and buy some more space. Caboose is there to shoot it down. The rest of the squad should be there as well. Finesse looking for a kill towards the back of the side. Instead, it's gonna be Caboose for 2. So matching Zelsis' energy, and Penny gets caught out in the off angle. FB's now in a 1v1. Needs to go huge. He finds the first onto Crashies. They're basically even when it comes to the HP. Caboose looking to play aggressive on this one. The spike's still down on the site, and I'm not too sure if FB's is privy to this information, but he has a whole heap of utility to stop this plant from going through.
Yes.
30 seconds left.
You are correct. Thing is, the moment you pop Hunter's Fury, you're exposed, so saving that for later is definitely the play. Using now this plant itself to be a Shroud of Secrecy, but he had the jump on Caboose, but didn't quite connect the dots. Caboose, big round there. I believe that was a hat trick, if I'm not mistaken, from him. The triple. And so Envy do jump up to 8, and you feel like V1 need this one. They finally have an op in Penny's hands. They have all the ults, except for the lockdown. Run it back, though, available for Victor, and a Cosmic Divide available for Mummy, so definitely can get some value out of that. So it all comes down to this, man. How much of an advantage are Envy going to have if we transition sides?
I don't remember if that update came through in 2.06 or 2.07. We are on patch 2.07, which means you can pull the diffuser off the spike if you are the Astra player. Coming towards the end, though. Vanity picks up 2. Mummy will finally silence the Astra for version 1, but a couple of huge kills to pick up, and that is Elsa's forced to back away with 55 HP. Whippy finally holding down the side, able to do it. Picks up another, and Mummy going galactic for just a moment. Chipped away, 44 HP. With 3 members to worry about, and Effie's gonna grab him through the wall. So version 1,
Okay.
they figure it out. They put their heads together. They find 4 in the first half. Now they need to find another 4 to tie us up.
Yeah, they won, what, 3 of the last 4 rounds of the half, I believe it was. So that puts us at a total of 4 for the game. They had obviously had won the like anti-bonus early in the half. So yeah, I mean they kind of got that number that you felt was kind of the bare minimum they needed to hang around for like the 2-0 threat for the series.
Yeah. But
still, all in all, if you're Envy, you're feeling pretty solid about the half. I mean, you got a hot start. You were up, you know, 8-1, 7-1. So definitely all the things going your way early. Obviously, you'll be a little bit upset you kind of let a couple slip by at the end, but still definitely going to be a very competitive score bringing into the second half to try to force a map 3. Big for Effie. So we talked about him. He was at one point like 0-6 or 0-7, and now he's jumped up there and had some impact. So I just want to shout him out since I kind of shut him out in kind of a negative way earlier. Gotta praise the redemption.
speaking of, it's highlighted there for us. That is the player that we were
Quite
talking about. Crashies, yeah. Crashies doing us giving us some of that production value that the Sova brings to the team. Now, as far as version 1 being on the attacking side here, who, I guess the second half as a whole, who is this boding more well for? Are we expecting NB to have, like, you're the numbers guy, usually have the percentages. Yeah,
their defense is usually slightly better than their attack. Like, just from the history of the team.
Wow. So defense looking pretty good. Crashies walks away with 20 HP, but completely nearsighted by the Larry. Picks up a kill on Zelsis. It's one you wish you could have back now if they go on the hunt for this Sova. It's gonna be running right into Caboose, and Crashies is still able to find another on 20 HP. Vanity is able to take his leave, and the spike has since been planted, so they are working against the clock. That is Envy. As the turret goes through, it's a fake defuse for just a second, a nebulous smoke on top, and a shock dart queued up to try and delay things for a moment longer. And if you're Envy, you have to figure it out right here, right now. Recon bolt for the information. Mummy gonna be on the defuse. The shock dart to go on through. He gets taken off, and he doesn't have it halfway.
Nope.
The utility so huge here. Envy look to grab the round, but version 1 snake it away.
Indeed, they do again. Effie's my man coming up big yet again, now up to 8 and 9. How quickly he has turned things around for himself individually. A wild ride to kick off this round, and then it's followed up by just perfect utility usage from Effie's with these shock darts coming in clutch. Not allowing that halfway defuse to happen, and now that's V1 jumping up to 5 again. V1, pretty solid attacking team. Around 64% win rate on the attack compared to the defense. It's only 50-50, so that's again what they lost pistol both halves against Envy their last meeting. This time they get a pistol on their side to kick off the second half. That could be the difference maker.
You saw the wheels turning there. Crashy's trying to get some early aggression up towards that Cubby to try and catch somebody off guard with the classic. Caboose looking to do the same. Vanity going to be holding this flank as Penny pushes on up. A 3K on the round. Vanity to help close it out. And I know that's the anti-eco, but you take a peek at those ultimates, and for Penny and Vanity, they're darn near coming online.
Facts. Just straight facts being spit by my boy Tanner Metro. But here comes that bonus round. And you feel like if V1 win this one, and they get some free weapons, and they force Envy to save the next round, this can get spicy all of a sudden, Tanner. That's all I can say. I feel like Envy needs to win this anti-bonus. Like, you don't want to let V1 just strike back at you like this on their attacking side where they're very powerful and already have like a tie ball game in their hands.
Oh my
boy.
Goodness.
What did Effie's do at halftime, bro?
Get out of my way.
Michael's secret soda. What was it? I don't remember now.
Secret stuff.
Michael's secret stuff.
That's it. Yep. Nailed it.
The Bugs Bunny water. Here, this time Penny able to make it onto the side, dropping down into the cloud burst below. Spike still hanging out over towards C-Long. Hasn't since popped on. Victor goes 2 from Logs. Whippy's there to trade it back, and Finesse to fall in the back of the site. Vanity is there to back it up, and you said it, Dust. You called it. You manifested it for version 1. They needed to win the bonus.
Oh, okay.
They're right there doing it.
I was right, yes, but I didn't manifest it. Like that, I don't want to get in the crossfires of fans out there.
You caster blessed them.
Ooh, that's new. That still could have negative connotations as is that like extreme bias at that point? I feel like that is. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
let's moonwalk out of this one. Let's just creep on back. See,
I won't tell the chat about your version 1 tattoo.
I have no tattoos. Too much. I can't do the needle thingy. Anyway, full buy for V1, full save for Envy. Chance for a tie, and well, that was a tough exchange for Crashies. Not happy about that one. Envy trying to do something crazy with the mid push, but that turret is literally perfectly placed for this type of thing that Envy are trying to go for.
And it's you're trying to chip away, right? If you're Envy, you absolutely do not want to let, obviously these rounds keep going, but the economy to keep stacking.
Exactly.
So you need to start hurting taking away some of these rifles, because it's been near flawless in the last couple. That hasn't really been the case. Finesse able to pick up one and doing just that. Caboose trying to do some on the back foot. He's going to fall, and Finesse now the only one standing. Picked up a kill onto Vanity, so it wasn't free for version 1, but it is looking like an 8-8 game.
Finesse able to use that turret to jump in and grab a Phantom, so at least he's thinking. He's playing a little bit of multi-dimensional chess. He's quite known for that from the CSGO scene, as he single-handedly completely turned the scene on its head in multiple different ways. But that Phantom not going to get carried over. Whippy with the triple. Tie the game now. And all right, Tanner, it's starting to get to that point. Look at that frag distribution, by the way, for version 1. I mean, Vanity's way on up there, but everyone else is so tightly packed. Again, Effie's having such a big recovery. And I mean, really, the fragging across the server is tightly packed. Like, the only outliers are like Victor, who's had a really bit of a slow start, and then Vanity, who's like soaring to new heights. I feel like Victor has to have impact this round right now with the run it back. Like, this has to be it. You got to slow this V1 team down. They're looking to get aggressive at middle. They're going to use the Cosmic Divide in play as well here. The attacking side, as they're trying to come into C. They're going to get it. Big flank, though. Is that the spike down? Oh, no.
Yeah, and the ult does get sent back. Nobody here, unfortunately, to follow up on that, as the lockdown was used, and so many members postured up here, just nest egging on the spike from Envy version 1 in a horrible spot. Not only down a player, but positionally, it's ruined.
Like, you're using a Cosmic Divide to get a lane into C, and then you leave the spike behind, and then it gets flanked up middle, and now you have no spike possession and you're a player down. This is like the dream for Envy.
Ooh, but they're starting to chuck some stuff back. Caboose now going to give away his position. Hunter's Fury used in that regard. Unfortunately, no lockdown in response. Caboose is there, good for one. Ooh, the backup from Victor makes him good for another, as he gets cut down. 70 HP on the raise, and he still stands. Effie's worse for wear, only 5 health to his name. Recon Bolt going to go on through. The op shot from downtown from Mummy. And they close out the round. A complete blunder by version 1, but what an opportunity seized by Envy.
It's one of the biggest unforced errors we've seen tonight. I mean, you're on the path to the upset. You're doing everything right, and then you happen to make this little fumble. Now, obviously, Envy doing really great to, take advantage of it, to play smart, to realize the situation and make the most of it. So, I mean, definitely they are still credited with doing really well, but you feel like V1 kind of left one out there for him for free. But they're able to buy back fully, and they just need to keep their composure and just keep fighting. But for Envy, you feel like he got away with one there to get you back on the lead, and you also want to seize that moment. Try to put it to good use and try to force a map 3 here. Still a very close game that we're in right now, and still very hard to tell who really has control of it at this point. Like, is it V1's momentum from before that mistake, or is Envy going to use that to create something new? Well, hey, aggression coming out there. Mummy following up. This is not looking good for V1 at all. Okay.
And the operator in the hands, now your knees have to start shaking if you're version 1, wherever Mummy is at, you want to avoid. Effie's and Zelsis, not long for this. And I didn't get to take a peek at the economy, but it was 2 players chipped away in the previous round, and then all 5 going down, obviously, there in that last. I can't imagine they're going to be buying up too much for too many rounds to come.
Yes.
Ideally, you just want to battle back and try and chip away at some of the economy as well here. If they can find Finesse, this would be a pretty big one. Unfortunately, Crash's going to make sure that doesn't happen. Finesse does eventually fall. Recon Bolt going to be shot out. Now with 24 HP. I mean, you do the math. You only have 6 HP per enemy, and that's just not going to be enough.
That was impressive quick math. Well done.
Yeah, I could do the 4th grade, 5th grade stuff.
I mean, it's yeah, of course, anyone can. But in the heat of the moment, in a broadcast, sometimes, you know, simple math goes really wrong.
True.
Speaking of fight distribution, Envy, everyone's performing, bro. 13 to 11 from top to bottom. Starting to get it done when it matters most here at the home stretch to that finish line to try to force that map 3. Full buy here for both sides, but it's definitely V1's economy. It's more fragile. You feel like this is kind of last chance saloon for them if they were to lose this and be forced by the rest of the game. Penny getting the great double entry there. Crashies to respond with one of his own, but still a man down is Envy, and Crashies is kind of stuck. He's trying to wait for his teammates to rotate, but he's done well to just be the snake in the grass in the corner, but it's cleared out finally, and now it's all on Finesse. And they're going to leave.
Yeah, Vanity, being the lurker here on the attacking side, came up huge there to find a kill out towards mid, which just lets you know everybody was leaning that way, right, because of where that player is running to try and rotate towards A. You don't really have the information as to where Finesse is at, but you know it's on that side. So everybody takes their leave and heads on out. So Vanity absolutely heads up kill, heads up play in the middle of this round to swing it the way of version 1. And when it comes to terms of economy, I mean, only losing 2 feels pretty good.
That does feel good. That's about exactly what you needed. Obviously, it could have gone better with the Flawless, but I mean, this is still really solid. You have to tip your hat to Crashies. This little small shout out. He definitely put his best effort forward. I mean, he really did give that a chance. That's another kill gone. I feel like these chases from B1 are not really the right call. Okay. Interesting interaction, I guess. I don't know that it had really a whole lot of impact, but hey.
Now, imagine what you can do with that if you grab well a turret from a position that's peeking like an angle, and then you grab well it behind the wall.
Okay, I can see that. I'm feeling what you're laying down.
That's pretty interesting to think about, as we do have Envy taking a tactical timeout here in this one, and these prove to be fairly fruitful. Typically, we see some pretty good things, and I believe you get 1 per game per the rule set, and version 1 unfortunately used theirs very early in this one, so they won't have one to match this very, very close game. As they pick up that last round, they're trying to match the double digits. Man, look at the utility. Look how much the map. Eventually, this game is going to get to a point where the map is just flooded with stuff on the floor.
This is a big round to determine if, like, overtime's in the cards, if we're going to steam back ahead. Again, economy's still pretty fragile, really, for both sides now at this point. Op is still in play for Mummy. This rifle's aplenty for V1 on the opposing side. Looks like we're once again going to see like a mad scramble for A control based on the Astra utility, and probably going to see some potential Mummy sewer opping shenanigans.
Oof. A nice lineup. Unfortunately, it doesn't amount to too much because of that nebula smoke and nobody pushing up too aggressive.
Here's the thing it creates, though. It allows them to just rotate off now, just let Mummy anchor this, because he will know if there's ever a pressure. And then he can just kind of back off, and then he can call for rotate the need be. It allows him to reinforce elsewhere on the map in the early to mid stage with like minimal risk, which is something that V1's going to have to play against for the whole round, but not necessarily ever knowing it.
Oh, the tension is building. I mean, it is about to break.
Penny, you're playing with fire. He's gotten out. I feel like they kind of have an idea that might be happening. So at least they seem to have a read, and they're trying to bypass it. Again, but it means that the defense is stout elsewhere. It's two to be in 2 to C right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard to break open these sites with Mummy just being able to anchor so much space by himself.
Quick dash on, curveball to be used, nano swarms, Venn diagram on the side, Hunter, Fury, all of the utility going to be chucked out at this squad, and Crashies able to net 1. You've only got 20 seconds, so much time was wasted. Just trying to slow things down early in this one. Finesse gonna get caught out. Seaside not opened up, not free just yet. No, Vanity makes me eat my words and says, yes, it is free as Victor pushes on. He tries to find everything he can, but he goes 1 for 1, and Vanity crouches across the crab walk kill onto Caboose, leaves it all up to this operator that was doing so much earlier in the round. Now needs to do so much more here to end it out. No weapon swap. I mean, this could be the tie game.
Yeah, that's it. He's got to get out of there, and he might even save the would be looking for him, but no, Mummy says, I got this. Don't you worry. Still won't win the round, but looks like saving the operator is looking more and more likely as each second passes, though there's still more chase being given. But yeah, that was looking so good for Envy. Again, they had the great rotation. They had the amazing combo of Nano Swarm and Hunter Fury to make it really hard to B plant, so V1 had to make the pivot to C. But yeah, I'll never know for sure, but that peek from Finesse at Garage it felt like that is what opened the floodgates. Once V1 connected that, you could almost tell maybe they were just playing because they wanted the confirmation. And also they knew the clock was low. They could disrupt V1 even longer. They could just win off the clock as another option to get victory. But it just seemed like you basically gave V1 the one way back to the round that you could. Which was because time was running low, they needed to pick quick, and I feel like Finesse kind of just gave it to him there. And then look at what it does to Crashies. I mean, he's so isolated. I don't know about that one. That's a little bit questionable in my opinion, but I could be swayed. Up for debate.
A lot of damage was done at the end of that round. Mummy down to just 1 standing. It was Vanity still alive. And Penny, the lowest in credits. Just going to buy that full armor, full utility of Frenzy, and use the knives here in this round. So
okay,
this round still could go either way. And when you take a peek at the ultimates online, there's a handful of ducks.
There's all the ults. Nice shot that Ummi though, and Victor able to get one as well. Penny though trying to bring it back, but Mummy says I'm gonna go skeet shooting from sewers and takes Penny out of the sky. Crashy's coming in as well into Whippy, and well, that tie is short-lived. Envy about to take the lead right on back, and as you were kind of already alluding to, credits are kind of fragile here.
This is so tough. The timing as Mummy finds a third on the round. That is it right there. That's what Bach broke down at the beginning of the series. It was the value that Mummy brings. He's not always going to top frag. He's not always going to be this star player, but the impact that he has in a very close game and the kills that he's finding there. Yeah, sure, he doesn't clutch a 1v4 with the spike planted and all he's got is the operator, but I mean, he does a pretty darn good job. I believe that was 6 rounds that he picked up in those last, or 6 kills, excuse me, in those last 2 rounds.
No, he's definitely popping off here, jumping up to the top of the leaderboard for his team, and not too far off Vanity now. As V1 had enough to full buy here, but this doesn't work. It's MV map point, and V1 will not have much to work with in the final round regulation. So this is big. Vandy though catching Caboose getting aggressive out in middle, and he takes literally 0 damage for that kill. And that's big. Cosmic Divide now to try to slice open this A site. Dueling drones flying out across the front as well.
Victor and Crashy just trying to be on the better side of that Cosmic Divide to try and hear everything.
Look at this. Look at Finesse's positioning. And they basically riddled this Cosmic Divide useless. And now Mummy finds Vanity in middle. How the tides have turned.
Absolutely. Now, a couple of ults still available. Here is one of them. Hunter's Fury going to go wide. Unfortunately, not landing true this time around, as it's going to be that A take that we were expecting because of that Cosmic Divide. But did try and buy some time. Zelsis dodges out on the shock darts for now. There's the Empress. So every single ult used that was available to version 1 to try and tie things up once more. Victor and Mummy going to be holding a crossfire. Bringing up the rear is Finesse. And unfortunately, nobody on the flank, so they're all funneling in from right here, and Penny not going to get spotted by that turret. No way! He doesn't get spotted. He sends the ult back. He picks up a kill onto Finesse. He dashes away to safety. Cosmic Divide going to be used, but the team completely split off. No, the Empress dethroned. Whippy finally grabs one back. Penny playing inside the Nebula smoke, has a classic in hand, trying to find whatever he can. It's Victor to close things out. Effies Now alive, the shock darts are on target, and what a round. Penny, you absolute madman.
Absolute. You could tell the moment that turret got placed that they were going to lose the round, honestly, because you knew that they were like never going to check that corner. That's the thing about that turret, man. It's 180 degrees from where it's placed, and so it never had a chance of spotting Penny. And at that point, if you're Envy, you have to hard clear that corner now because your turret will not do the trick. And they just didn't. They left that stone unturned. It comes back to haunt them as it stops the ult and it gets a frag as well. And it sets up V1 to be able to succeed. That's a big round to win because their economy was so low. They were on the verge of basically having such a low buy coming into what could be Envy's map point. Instead, now both teams fighting for map point at the same time. Some of this aggression from Envy defensively is coming to haunt them in some of these moments. Some of these like off-timing peaks are not paying off anymore. Mummy's op going to be pushed back here at B by the drone. This aggression, though, is kind of big from Victor. He's getting a lot of intel at A. Again, freeing up the defense to be more reinforced elsewhere on the map as he has kind of A under his control by himself with just such deep positioning.
We're seeing something similar to the round that Vanity really popped off and found a 3K, but it was a late hit towards C. And the only thing that kind of foiled that, like you said, was Finesse maybe peaking a bit too soon.
Right.
So if that doesn't happen this time around, I don't think
the other thing.
This slow playstyle bodes well.
There's a couple of big ults in play for Envy in this round. There's maybe no ults left in the game for V1.
Oh, the shock dart misses. Penny walks away. Not unscathed. Oh, the Graveler pulls him back in. No way, Jose, but the spike gets planted and they're all playing out towards this mid area. Inside window, the showstopper goes through. Victor on the flank here. Somebody has to answer back, and unfortunately, Effies will fall. Vanity, too far away to get anything done, was looking for a miracle play on the flank, but unfortunately does not go his way. Version 1, they let it slip through their fingers, and I don't think the economy is great going into the last round of regulation.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Spectres, we're going to have him to come out again. No ults are going to be in play. Finesse still has his lockdown available for a retake. Envy. That grab, well, you could just see the sadness in Penny's eyes. I mean, shed a tear for that man. Oh my goodness. And also that flank from Victor, getting that early A push, just, again, allow them to reinforce the other sides and allow him to have a quick flank on that retake.
And he tried there to find Victor. He's able to leap away. It is that yard sale buy. Spectres, a frenzy, one Phantom. As the drones go toe-to-toe. Crashy's doing his darndest to try and find as much information as he can gather. Now, it's going to be the run-and-gun plays that we're looking to see coming out from version 1 as they've got the Spectres, the SMGs in hand.
Right.
And the one player tagged started to rotate away.
Yeah,
Envy think that this play's going somewhere else.
The thing is, it's going to be an A retake. And that's what Envy are playing for on purpose, to reinforce the other sides, know that they had the lockdown to go. Now, the thing is, Effies could have shock dart lines to destroy the lockdown. That's like the, I don't know for sure. There is ways to do it.
Ooh, damage traded back and forth. It's Crashy's trying to stop the plant, and he does do that momentarily. Now going to be planted right underneath Evan, and this could be a spot. No, Penny plays in the corner again and finds a kill. Finesse goes down. That's the lockdown. That was your insurance on this round as the head narrowly gets missed by Caboose. And he still has the knives in hand. Crashies is going to fall. This is how regulation is going to end. It's down to the last two. No, make it one. It's Mummy again with the operator in hand. Penny's going to go wide. The kill comes through with the ghost. 46 HP. The weapon pickup. And 12-12. We find ourselves in overtime.
Oh, and you feel like you just had that pit of your stomach starting to just get so tight the moment that Finesse goes down. And as you said, that checkmate move is no longer on the board. And V1 have done the unthinkable. They have brought this thing all the way back to OT. Credits now equal. All economic woes erased. All alts kind of a non-factor. And so it just comes straight up to brawling, basic utility usage, and just general strategy. Envy. We'll start here on this attacking side. We can see a big C defense in place, and I believe this is the first time all game long we've seen Penny perched on top of C boxes looking down long. And that's the thing about overtime. You start doing things that your opponent has never seen before, and it could catch them off guard, as they are looking to try to get this garage control and potentially set up the C split. This is where Penny's operator could be so massive, Tanner. If that's really what they choose to do.
A lot of noise made that way, so quite possibly making version 1 think that that is the call. Caboose and Victor still holding it down towards garage, and the spike still planted on the ground, so no real
You can tell that
yet.
Envy are trying to feint A little bit. Like, they want to see if they can hold those players in place or try to pull a rotation, but they're going to run into the C stack, bro, and it's going to come down to brute force alone to get past it. Celsius has a great angle. Penny has long covered, can look over any utility. And if he lands his shot and gets away, and they have a triple C defense in place, including Celsius in this corner, with Whippy to kind of help cover, I'm not liking Envy's chances here just based on positioning, Tanner. But I mean, again, they could brute force their way through anyhow.
Turret spots him out. Nanoswarm used.
grim.
Penny gonna find the first kill. Mummy to fall. Here comes the curveball around the corner. Zelsis gonna go down. Unfortunately, Penny way too low to take that fight as Victor picks it up. Whippy towards the back of the side, still alive for a moment longer. Victor trying to challenge as Finesse takes down a Vanity, and it's all up to Eppies, who needs to do something heroic. Unfortunately, not able to do it. It's a 3K for Victor as they stomp the defense on C. They grab the first win in OT.
Yeah, they limit Penny's impact with the op, and they also allow Zelsis nothing. So that was kind of the two key pieces there. Like, yeah, Penny's first kill was kind of a foregone conclusion just based on Envy's positioning and based on how Penny was playing. But from that point forward, I mean, they really did such an efficient job at their spacing and trading, you know, only allowing, I think, Whippy 1 kill in the back corner as well. Zelsis 0. So, I mean, that's just good brute force trading efficiency. Again, that was the one way that Envy could still win, despite potentially just being outplayed maneuvering-wise. And they did. And now they have a chance to force them at 3 here. And now V1 looking to try to force another overtime game. You got to win 2 in a row if you're new to Valorant. Catching it for the first time. You got to get those 2 in a row to take the dub.
And so Zelsis tanks the drone there, so that way Penny doesn't get spotted out. Unfortunately, the jump peek from Crashies gonna give him away. The spike hovering over towards that C site. We'll see where they decide to go here. Nice and slow is how version would want to take it.
They know how much weight is on this. They know they can keep the duo dream alive here and now and avoid that third map safety net if they can just play their cards right and force another overtime. So they don't want to hedge their bets early and fall prey to some type of stack or, you know, leave some type of corner unchecked. They want to try to play it out as methodical as possible. As they're looking to still go for this A split, though. Throwing the stars down, coming in. There's a lot of defense set up here, though, and Penny gets busted immediately.
Victor's able to get one, pushing up through sewers as well, but traded right back. So 2 for 2 we go. Still on the site is Mummy. He's mowing him down, holding it down all by himself. No, Caboose is there to back him up, and Envy close it out in OT.
Oh, my. He's going for the... I mean, of course he wasn't going to pick it, though. It's going to be the kill choice.
But, you know, we would love to see it. And what I will say is there's not this large rivalry like we've seen between Envy and Exa. And I know it's not much of a rivalry, but
I get what you're
those
saying,
teams, they played each other a whole lot. And so it did take the weird wonky stuff for Exa to finally break out of that. We keep losing to Envy, man. What's going on? So I do
here's an
think that
interesting
could
thing.
help.
So in their last losses, the 4 losses in a row, remember I was telling you? In 3 of those 4, if you'll remember, they had Victor playing the Sky. And you can see here, they said, nah, let's get Victor back on the Phoenix. Let's get back to, you know, back to basics. Everything else is about what you'd expect. But yeah, that Victor between Sky and Phoenix has been kind of the, you know, X factor, I guess you could say, of like Envy's compositions lately. So they have him back on that. Other than that, I feel like you're not seeing anything too odd coming out of either team. I feel like both these compositions are kind of true to what we've seen quite a bit here lately.
Now, what I will say, looking at the compositions, typically you're leaning towards Victor to always do something great for this squad. Fragging out, making plays, whatever it may be. Zelsis is also that name. That's exactly why they are the head-to-head. And again, we have the matching agents coming into this one. not to single anybody out or to put any pressure on anybody, but I would
you're going to single
absolutely
someone out and
love,
put pressure on them?
yes,
Go
I
ahead.
would absolutely love Zelsis to really step it up in this one to match that same energy on the Phoenix here, because we know what that means as an agent as a
I
whole.
love how
So
that
I
always
think-
works, man. Not
Yeah.
to do, but then you just do it. It's like when you say not to be rude, but you're about to be incredibly rude, aren't you? But of course you weren't being rude. But it is one of those like little funny things. I don't know. I don't know why I point those things out. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. I love you, Tanner, despite
Well, I
popular
just-
belief.
Yeah, I mean, we
Big
gotta
fan.
let chat know that we don't. No, none of it's personal. Okay, so when we
No.
say something like
Yes.
that, none of it's
Yes.
personal, and that is not all that the
Please don't
analysis
accuse me of
comes down
bias.
to.
Or being
Yeah.
mean. I don't want to see any tweets. Anyway, here comes the attack right now. From V1 up into tree room, trying to split, but what a flash from Victor, and Mummy jumps out with it, and he's taking people with him and throwing them into the graves. Zelsis fights back for one, but now forced to just draw back, and Envy wipe the floor, and what a absolute statement pistol round for Envy to make in a map 3 with tournament life on the line.
Yeah, and if you blinked, you missed it, right?
Exactly.
You know the round goes quick when the color can't really hop off at any point and pass it back to the play-by-play, right? And that's exactly what we witnessed. It just happens so fast, and that's scary because the pistol rounds were already discussed and how important pistol rounds are going to be. And now map number 2 coming into map number 3, Envy are just on top of them.
Absolutely. That was, again, like a really bold round to make right away.
Early for the orb right there. So they are looking to play quite a bit around Celsius. Gonna take another round before we can get there to see what the Phoenix can actually get done, until we can see what version 1 can get done, as they're kind of just hanging out, not necessarily hanging out on the sidelines, but with Classic in hand.
Penny, a big
Not really
fan of the
online.
fan I've seen.
Yes. Yeah.
Huge fan of it. How many times will he inspect it this round? Let's put an inspect counter on the screen.
Ooh, Caboose. Almost in a bad spot. Tries to use the blast pack to get away there, but tosses it a bit too far before popping it. And all the information
Well, I wonder
now
where
since
V1
been
is.
gathered. Yeah, everybody basically spotted out.
I thought that shot thrower was going to finish him off in the corner there. He's also able to get the heal off just in time to kind of stay around, but again, still obviously well behind. And I mean, they're just getting stalled out forever. In the meantime, though, like, you know, Envy aren't necessarily jumping the gun anywhere. Vanity's still kind of poking and prodding from wine position towards A side. Victor might even just come out and grab him. Indeed, he's like, I'm sick of this annoyance.
Yep.
It's like a fly kind of just buzzing around your head. He's finally swatted it. A little bit easier than swatting a fly. Those things are hard to catch sometimes.
Whippy almost falling to the turret there. Now they just have to send it, right? You're running out of time, and
He needs to
right
die.
into the meat grinder. The paint shells, the Spectre from Caboose. He finds 3 in finesse to close it out. The best way to win your anti-eco is flawless, and Envy do just that.
I mean, I don't know that I could agree more. I don't know if there would be a way to objectively agree more.
Just feels good.
Yeah, it
Everybody
does.
goes into the next. You're all on Spectres. You don't have to have somebody, you know, buy just a ghost only. I thought we were going to get the operator in this round, and Mummy, cogs are turning. He picks up a Marshall. Does look like he's just going to hang on to that frenzy for now. No, okay. Crashy's going to get the frenzy, and Mummy will have a Spectre, and Victor will just play incredibly aggressive. Unfortunately, one
I'm
kill
down.
traded back, and Victor
I'm digging it.
needs to try and back away. Nice little upgrade there, and he's just going to continue
What
to
is he-
push forward. Not going to find any more kills, though. The aggression finally punished. But meanwhile, all that was happening. Mummy has taken an aggressive position inside of B main,
Yep.
and quite possibly find something here on the flank. No, Penny watching it. See if this is anything to happen.
This is a scary... There. Oh, I mean, I don't know about that one, Chief. That seemed a little much. I mean, I understand the idea from Victor's perspective. Like, you have a SMG, you're trying to get the most out of it, getting up close and personal, disrupt them, catch them off guard with some hot and heavy aggression. I can understand that, but that double swing out B lobby with Spectres against rifles that are likely holding position just seemed a bit odd. But, you know, again, it's a bonus round. It's understandable that you're going to have to take some risk here and there. Already got the 2-0 lead. You're still got the full buy coming up next, but let's see what Finesse can do in this 1 versus 3. I'm going to guess not much, but, I mean, as soon as I say that, of course, he gets that. I mean, I'm just gonna stop trying to. I don't mean to curse or bless anyone. I need to stop.
Well, you know, you always have to lean on the side. Like, you have to err on the side of caution that X player will get X clutch, because I think you and I mean, personally, have casted some pretty insane moments where you're thinking, okay, in a 1v4, yeah, hopefully you can damage the economy, and then X player does 1v4 and crazy
What do you
things.
mean? That
Zeta
Zeta ace from earlier was so expected.
yeah, exactly. That's another good point, right? Just a
boy.
random 5K finding itself somewhere in the round.
Oh, hi
I
there.
think we get a 5K here in this one.
Oh, I like the idea of that.
And hop away.
The cogs are, I can see the gears turning there. I like it. Like, you know, like they're preoccupied by the drone. I can swing out Cat and kill him and blindside him, and it just didn't quite work out. So that's a great start to the round for V1, who are looking to get this B lobby control. You can see Mummy got that aggressive angle, but that bait and switch has not worked out.
Mummy's able to buy time, but it's really only to be able to back away. Nova Pulse, run it back, going to be used. Op holding now from just on side of the site towards Boathouse. Elsis able to hit that switch and push onto the site. Going to be sent right back, and he didn't spot Crashies. So FB's going to fall there because the Sova wasn't spotted out. And although you have a player advantage, version 1, it doesn't make it free to head to this B site. They're going to try and rotate. They're going to be met by Victor. The Nebula. Nope, not the Nebula. Smoke to go down. Just a star.
30 seconds.
And that kill to follow as Vanity goes deep and aggressive. Cuts it down to Mummy with just the operator. And you have to imagine he's just going to save here.
Does seem like the most likely choice, especially with everyone else being able to full buy around it into the next round. So it's going to be a 2-2 tie. You kind of thought that maybe Indy had a chance when Crashes wasn't spotted by the ult, but not quite the case. Mummy will not save the operator, but again, there should be some credits to go around. Actually, never mind. I am horribly wrong. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, that really stings, especially because it's usually your op that's going to peek first, and then you have the rifle right there to back him up, but
right.
Boost just gets a bit too far ahead. I am surprised that they went hunting for Mummy based off of what he did to version 1 on Haven. It was a 4v1, and he killed 3 on the way out and still survived, but I mean,
one of those things where,
there.
unlike me, they actually did have a read on the economy properly, and they knew what it would do if they could get that op out of his hands, which is this. Virtually nothing to work with. Victor trying to make something happen anyway with the Sheriff.
Need that back.
Manny's wants all them stars back. Give me them all back.
Couple of ults to work with. I can't imagine we see the run it back, but
yeah, of course not.
An early kill somewhere, somebody stacked up. If Caboose finds the right spot, that showstopper could swing this round. There's still a lot of respect, a slower default style coming out from version 1, just because, I mean, we've seen it, I think 2 or 3 times in this series alone, where you count somebody out and then it's just a Sheriff and popping grapes. It's a party for it. So still a lot of respect given.
Yeah. You start to kind of wonder a bit, because both these teams have like a really good defensive win rate on this map. So for every round that V1's able to collect it on the attacking side, it just gives them that much more of an edge just based on averages.
Just 30 seconds left.
Yes, not spotted. He is going to be spotted. There's the showstopper. Good for 2. Finesse traded out, but favorable. For Envy as Penny goes towards the back lines. Now fighting behind enemy lines. Unfortunately, the Sheriff shot could go wide. It's a couple phantom shots and the paint shells to finish off Victor, which brings it down to the last couple. Caboose and Mummy. Caboose has since picked up a rifle. The spike has to get planted here. That was actually scary for a second.
Yeah, if there had been like one person on site to disrupt that, they could have won off clock. So that was, like you said, very scary. You got to give a lot of credit to Penny. He saved the day, because that Gravwell showstopper combo made you believe that Envy actually had a chance to steal this one away. They still have a chance, a 2-on-3, and they have weapons. Okay.
Ping on the spike, shots on the target. It's a 3K thus far for Caboose. Mummy has since picked up a weapon, pushing his way to the site, and chips away at FB's 15 HP with the spike planted. It's a showstopper in response. It's going to be traded out. This is a very scary spot here. Shock dart to go down. Mummy tries to back away. 15 health. Effie's just trying to play the clock, and he's doing it so darn well. He gets it done in version 1 for the lead.
Oh, just doesn't quite get away with that, Phantom. But, I mean, still takes the big victory, which is what matters most. Definitely can buy back, so no problems there. Still, though, a nice round for Envy, considering what they had to work with to get a spike plant and to get it into a potential 1v1 victory. I mean, that's you know, keeping your opponent's economy in check, giving you some better buying options coming forward. Mummy definitely has the operator now because of that. Run it back still available for Victor. That's the only ult on the table coming into this round unless an AWP is collected by Whippy or Vanity or Finesse, as they're all one away from an ult. Scratches looks to get a little bit intel with this drone, and he will get a lot of intel. Yeah. There's a party over here.
Yeah, everybody's stacked up, and I think this is one of the maps where we see, I think on both ends of things, the teams fighting heavily for these orbs. Now, the B orb is a bit harder to fight for, but a lot of the times we do see teams try and push up for this orb towards A, and this is why. You put the ult in the hands of Victor, and he's typically good for 1, if not 2. This time around, it is going to be that 1 kill to come on through. Curveball the peek away, and Effie sprays them both down, so it's favorable across the board. But a huge pick there. No, a collateral from Mummy into Tree Room leaves it down to Penny. And here comes Mr. Impact Frag with the operator in hand, going huge for this Envy squad.
Oh my, he just saved the day with that collateral, dude. You were really liking V1's chances as they were coming up. Cat, and there's still a hope for Penny. He's coming in, he's finding Mummy. He gets that. It's a 1v1, and he's still got a lot of time, but he doesn't have Spike. He's got to get to it.
30 seconds left.
The Paint Shell is going to stop the Boombaka boost. Awfully healthy, and he will find the kill. Penny did everything in his power to win the round. Unfortunately, just was not enough, and we are not at that 3.
Able to pick up that. I thought he picked up the operator at least. Anyway, let's come back to this.
Remaining. Spike.
That's insane.
Later. Nice job from Penny, though. It was a good attempt. Oh, my goodness. And look at what it's caused. Finesse having to go for Spectre. Does have lockdown. But you could sell that their credits are really coming down. If T1 wins this round, I mean, they're laughing all the way to the bank. They got 3 ults in play as well, including that running back and lockdown. Those are 2 big tools to take a site.
Enemy mark.
Crashies. I mean, if not in the way of kills, so much. The MVP of information here. Every time he tosses out a drone, he just gets so much. This time out towards mid. Yeah. And it spots just about everybody stacked up again from version 1.
Never. Effie's getting his own good intel with that. Knows that they're having to basically play market from back halls and mean that they're going to be able to get access to that market position for set up potential B split or a feint and a fallback, as there's still plenty of time left. And indeed, they are putting at least 1 player up the catwalk to make Tree a threat, and that's actually going to be the Spike potentially doing it. As Penny continues to put the pressure on middle with the spoon bot. Again, there's just layers to this aggression. It all leads to this climax, so as else is looking to ult his way into Tree.
Slow walking.
Yeah, I like that. Just kind of keeping the pace up with that. He's trying to find Victor. Doesn't do it. Victor able to stay, but the paint shells follow up with the intel. Now they get the kill. They force the door shut. Now they get to pivot back to a very vulnerable V site, and the rotation's way far off. This is great from V1.
Utility pop to try and slow things down for just a second as FNS plays inside the smoke. Should have the backstab here on to 3 members. Make it 1, spike down, another to come on through, and Zelsis will finally trade it. Lockdown used from inside of B main, and Caboose will fall. Mummy and Crashies once more have to go right back to work. And they don't have a whole lot of space to work with. Version 1, again, cutting it very close on the clock. They do get the spike planted.
Yep.
We find ourselves 3v2. Mummy a bit worse for wear as he tries to spray through the Radiant box, and he cuts it down, makes it even 2v2. Zelsis also armorless in this, so a headshot will be enough to sit him down. The nano storms to try and buy some space, buy some time. The turret now going to get the information that they're out towards lane, and I mean, Envy, you just got to send it here at this point. There it is. Trade back and forth. 1v1, and Crashies gets it done, and he's got plenty of time.
Oh my goodness, what a roller coaster ride for round. I was getting ready to prepare my praise for V1 and their shot calling, because I thought they did such a great job feinting, having that mid control, putting that pressure on Tree, falling back into a great B split off of the pick. lockdown onto site, getting a favorable 2-on-2 post plant, but every step of the way, Envy found ways to strike right back. It was first that push through the stairs by Finesse with the Spectre. Then it's the Cosmic Divide to make sure they don't have to worry about Boathouse, and they come in, and we see Crashy's clutching 1 versus 2. It seemed like everything was set against Envy there, based on the shot calling of V1 and their utility usage, yet somehow, some way, Envy throw a couple of just like crazy antics into the mix and come out on top. And now they force a save out of V1. A chance to extend their lead.
Just neck and neck, back and forth. There's only 1 round separates these teams here. Round 8 now underway. Crashy's right back to work with the recon drone. We'll find that the Owl drone not only gets the information as to where Pennies is playing, but spots the 2 members pushing up towards this catwalk. This, again, is one of those rounds for version 1 where you would love to hurt the economy. And some of these trades, they don't scream Envy, right? You do have a couple of Spectres on that squad, so if Whippy finds the right fight, if the Frenzies, you know, find those I don't want to keep saying Ferrari swing. I want to try and be more clever about it, but
Porsche swing?
You know, you go flying around the corner and you could find something. It's looking like they want to do just that. Celsius trying to push on through. Gravwell going to stop that one in its tracks as Crashies once more looks to play inside the Nebula smoke, and this is just a play for this squad. Envy gets so much done as the Frenzies battle back for 1. Whippy, unfortunately, not able to find too much, and Mummy, with a rifle in hand, cuts it just down to Whippy, 25 HP in a dream.
I wish we could slow-mo, excuse me, the layers of utility and how it was all timed. Envy perfectly stalled it 3 separate times. Gravwell first, hot hands next, then a pop flash perfectly timed for the swing through. They literally just riddled that push useless with this excellent layering of utility. It was just the chef's kiss like retake, basically. I mean, just the way it all came in was unreal.
This right here, it's just all so overwhelming.
It's just like, yeah, I'm done for. So we are going to get a tactical pause coming out here from V1, and not a bad time to do it. Envy starting to get some momentum, starting to take a bit of a lead. You have your full buy finally back in play. You have your showstopper. You have your run it back, but there's an opposing one on the other side, plus a lockdown for retaking. Hunter's Fury not available for Effies to cancel it yet either. Meanwhile, Crashies has his in play for early intel or early pick if he shows to throw it out there, or maybe to stall out a plant. I mean, there's all the options.
Yeah.
The world is your oyster with you know, these types of abilities and how you want to put them into play. It's what makes the game so dynamic. Here we go. Timeout fading out. V1 looking to stay in contention. Again, attacking grounds have been hard to come by for both these squads recently on Ascent.
Scanning ahead.
Other than, of course, the big 10-round half from V1 against Sentinels, but that was an outlier. On average, again, both these teams have been kind of 5 rounds or less attacking sides a lot of the time.
Whippy creeping up to try and find, I believe, that alt orb. I thought they would try and toss that one over to Effies because he is so close, but we got faith that he'll find it in the way of a kill. Showstopper going to be used. Shots coming down. Victor able to escape, and Whippy falls inside of B main. FNS pushes him out and finds his counterpart in that Killjoy matchup, and it was slow. They were trying to make something happen, but I don't feel like version 1 really got anything. The tags come on through. The Hunter's Fury. No, it's Finesse to pick up another kill. Walks away with 66 HP. Not long for the world as Zelsus and Vanity strike back.
Indeed, Victor, though, with the alt big kill there to really kind of put this back to Envy being a man ahead.
Oh, Mummy needed that one, so that absolutely stings. And when you take a peek at this, the spike can go down, and you've got 2 ultimates to 0. Vanity,
it's also
I'm
4
taking a peek
stars
at
in
that
play
Cosmic
for
Divine.
Vanity.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just take your pick on where you want to place that.
Ooh, Zelsis getting a little crazy here, maybe peeking a little too aggressive. No, able to find the kill onto Crashies, and Victor needs to try and get it done. Used to run it back earlier. Unfortunately, was sent back. Goes for the swing, and Zelsis is ready for it. A 3K for the Phoenix of version 1 as they cut down the deficit.
Yeah, they didn't even have to use their run it back there. So that's big. They have 3 alts now in play come to next round. Finesse still has the lockdown, so that could still maybe come into play, but Yeah, Mummy getting caught here was just so big. It just unlocked that A site. Zealous is catching the flank, putting food in an impossible...
man.
Victor, excuse me, in an impossible situation there. He's going to get run through the blender with that crossfire established.
Isn't it crazy
Go
that
ahead.
there's a world where it's a complete name change, and we still find ourselves in that conundrum of calling Victor food? If it was a different player, we wouldn't have that problem, but it's just so cemented.
Sure. I will say this, though. It might be one of the best rebrands in esports I've ever seen. So congrats
I
to him on
agree.
that.
Now, back to esports. Zealous is going to run on through. Trying to find as much as he can. Picks up a second. The run it back goes huge. 5 kills in 2 rounds for the Phoenix here. And version 1 looking to tie things up. The spike to get planted. And I mean, the Cosmic Divide, sometimes it falls flat, but used beautifully here in tandem with that run it back.
Yeah, that was big. Lockdown of no use for Finesse there. No value out of it. Finesse able to get a couple of kills there, stopping V1 from saving those weapons over. But still, all in all, a great attack from version 1. Great use of Cosmic Divide. Great use of the Victor ult. Or excuse me, the opposing ult from Zelsis, I should say. Victor's a little bit of a different story.
Crash is so far away, just going to hang on to that operator, which kind of tells you where the team is at. You know, a 2v3, if you're a bit closer, you can look for that clutch, but, you know, because of the save,
This is big, man.
foreshadows pretty terrible economy coming to this next. This is huge. And you know, I've heard a lot of...
That's,
oh, man,
that
another
second
kill
one on
now.
Caboose is unbelievable, man. That literally won the round, you have to feel. And now, look, V1 have tied it up 5-5. We talked about how both these teams have struggled to get more than 5 on attack the vast majority of the time throughout this year. Now, they've already matched it. And given Envy's economy, they have a chance to like take a lead going into the second half. Or at least make it, at worst, probably 6-6. So that's a big step in the or good direction for V1. And a tough pill to swallow if you're Envy.
And the thing I love most about this series thus far is we're getting essentially, I believe, the exact same maps that we saw previously.
Right.
I'm gonna hold that thought just for a second. Mummy might find something nice and early out towards mid, peeking over just outside of B main through tiles. The turret not spotting him out just yet, and Whippy, unfortunately, on the wrong side of this one. No, Zelsis on the wrong side. They try and push on back, swing back to the A site, and they're punished for it.
I mean, he may not have a dash, but he's able to at least cloak his escape with a little bit of a nebula smoke. Not quite the same, but it still worked out for him there in that situation. So very risky play. In a round where you probably have to take risks that have success, and it does pay off. They will back up, down, just kind of play a bit more standard, as we do see V1 looking to knock on the door of the A site. They do have a Hunter's Fury available if they want to use that to clear out some angles, or they could save it for post-plant. Up to them, really, as Mummy's op is here ready to go.
And this is the hero op on the round. Finds another kill. Unfortunately, going to get wall bang, but picking up 2 kills. Favorable, 2 for 1. Across the round as Crashies looks to find another, and there it is. Cutting them down to the last 2. Effie's and Whippy. They've got some utility to work with. Victor pushing up with the frenzy. Unfortunately, going to be on the receiving end of those rounds. The showstopper going to push him off, but not find the kills. Only a bit of splash damage. Whippy once more takes a bit. 66 health. 3v3 shock darts to come on through. Crashies able to get it halfway. Hunter's Fury going to be used. Finesse just pushes them, runs them down. And that's really all they've got for this one. Envy's has no way back on. Tosses out the recon bolt. He's eventually going to fall, and the defuse comes through. Envy pick up their 6th.
And the only way forward there was staying alive on that push, allowing that Hunter's Fury from Effie's to be able to have a little bit more impact. Without it, it was the round for Envy. Again, Mummy having such big impact. Opening pick at middle, gets away, gets another kill. Almost gets another collat, actually, on A main.
Yeah.
Slows down the attack as well at the gravel, buying time for rotation. Ensures that his team has main advantage thanks to his op kills. And then, yeah, they're able to really track down and not allow Effie's Hunter's Fury to have the impact that it required. So a big round for Envy to, you know, make sure they at least, at worst, have a tie here going into the second half. And, you know, maybe a chance here to extend the lead just a bit further.
Could be queuing up the lockdown. Not necessarily a bait, but there isn't a whole lot of follow-up off the back end, right? Still has to wait for the rest of the squad to grab that mid control. Do put that down. 3 players pushing up towards that market area. And the paint shells or the blast pack actually destroy it. So not really getting anything. Version 1, they've got to take a detour. It is going to be through the defender-sided spawn. I believe Victor spotted out 3. The recon bolt definitely doing that job to give away the information that Victor is here. Curveball. Not going to find anything just yet. Shock dart chips away at the health, at the armor. Nebula smoke. Try and block, and Finesse tries to go aggressive again, but this time Whippy comes out on top.
Indeed, he does.
Huge grab well.
Yeah, this attack coming in on B right now. Whippy continuing to press forward. Another entry, this time onto Caboose. Now Mummy last standing with the op. Misses the shot. A tough one, but pulls out the Frenzy for one. But unfortunately, can't get more than that. Penny and Divinity pitch in for big ones, and now it's all on Victor, and he's not long for this world. V1 will ensure that we're on equal footing, and again, you couldn't ask for better drama. Map 3, elimination on the line, a chance for a slot at Iceland. If you can win here and go on to play Cloud9 Blue, and we're on equal footing after 2.5 maps.
So, as I was saying before Mummy kind of hopped off earlier, these are the same exact maps
Yes.
in different order. It was Haven Split Ascent. This time it was Split Haven Ascent. Every game has been closer than we saw previously.
Okay.
Split was 13-3 last time. Version 1 taking it. Most previously, Envy blew that one way out of the water, did way better than anybody was expecting and making that a close game. Haven was 13-9 in Envy's favor. Version 1 take them into overtime. And Ascent, 13-4. If at the end of the day, what you can take away from this series is both of these teams have grown so much coming into this one from just Challengers 1 when they played themselves or played each other the first time.
Well, look at this. Envy wasting no time, and not surprising, we know how aggressive a team Envy is. They're looking to just lay onto this A slide. They're going to get the spy plant. They had the long con, basically flank of Finesse potentially, but it may not matter as V1 also wasting no time on this retake, leaving Finesse all by his lonesome on the catwalk. He's in a lot of trouble, and he is out of here. Vanity with the hat trick. V1 taking the initial lead in the second half just as quickly as Envy got the spike down, just as fast as V1 took the round on the retake. That was just such a chaotic quick round.
Yep, and I think what I love about this pistol round is at 6-6, I guess like the feeling of the game is things are even. So the momentum is even. Everybody starting just as if the game just started 0-0, right? So picking up that pistol is absolutely huge to then start to re-swing things into your favor. You can completely forget about that first half because now you have this pistol. Now you have a Phantom in the hands of Effies, a Bulldog for Vanity. So they're even saying, hey, we want to secure this round, and the bonus is going to be this much easier. Finesse the first to fall here to the paint shells as they take the A site. They're not going to be long for this world. The Bulldog only going to bark a bit as they toss the spike on over to Victor to try and get this run it back online soon.
Yeah, this is looking like V1 are gonna have a good chance at retaking this, being a man ahead, having the firepower superiority.
They're all stacked up here, though. They leap onto the side. The Batman comes down. Victor picks up 2 with the classic in hand. Penny is there to trade it out. And that's all she wrote. Only 2 to fall. Bulldog now down on the ground. Should be picked up. And that spike should be given over to Penny to try and get that showstopper online. Either way, the round goes as expected. Version 1, pick it up. And NB are going to find themselves with rifles in hand.
Yeah, no investment, and they got a spike plant. So, I mean, again, that opens up the option to have everything at their disposal rifle-wise, except for the operator, of course. Victor going to have to run it back as well. I thought this is the round you want to get if you're Envy. If you lose this, it's likely 10-6. The economy is going to be too low to challenge. This is not a race that you want to lose, Tanner. Not with this much on the line, and not with, again, if you're Envy, you're supposed to make this. You're like the last favorite left not to make it and not already eliminated with the 100 Thieves gone.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, V1, again, if you win this, you're guaranteed to see one Dark Horse make it to Iceland between them and Cloud9 Blue. Which is another great story in itself. I mean, just depends on what you fancy more.
Cloud9 Blue in that deep in that redemption arc, waiting to play later in the evening, mind you. We still got another series on the day, so if you thought this was a long day already, the winner of this one will play Cloud9 Blue today, which means both teams going to Iceland for North America.
And I believe we have Doug and DDK taking that one,
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. So you'll have a fantastic group of people to bring you coverage, as well as our amazing analyst desk, which are, you know, still going to be around with the old Veli, Bach, and Van Silly. The old VBV. I don't know what that was about, but...
I was actually doing the same thing. BV squared is what I was thinking.
Okay, that's way better than what I said.
That's, you know, I'm glad that we're in the same mindset.
Almost
though,
as clever as
like
my
that.
Porsche swing to your Ferrari, whatever you said.
Yeah.
Swarm grenade. Swarm grenade. 30 seconds left.
As we are.
Anyways.
Yes. Maybe we should cast the game. That
Yeah.
seems to be our best bet at doing something like decently well.
Right back to it. We're jumping on it.
Thank you.
It is that full buy coming out from Envy as they look to make it quick through market. But because the rifles were in hand in the previous round, Zelsis picks up 3, and that was with the ultimate. He's going to be sent back, and he still continues to go to work. No, this Bulldog doesn't bark. It bites. Zelsis for 4, Penny for 1, version 1 for 9.
That might be one of the best run-it-back values you'll ever see in this Challengers Finals. He gets 3 with it, as you said. You never expect that much impact, but they just keep challenging, and he keeps delivering. Finesse will be gutted that he did not get that trade. Seemed to have the jump on it. Didn't happen. And Zelsis just wreaks havoc on the hopes and dreams of Envy. A quad kill round. That was so dang good. And now this is that 10-6 scenario that we were talking about that was likely to happen as Envy's economy is just not there. Victor does have a Spectre. I don't know that the run it back would be the play in this situation. Hello, Caboose.
And a kill onto Victor.
It's like he just gave
whatever
up.
You were
it's
about
like
to
he went in the
say
corner and
doesn't
said, all
matter.
right. He just accepted his fate.
Wow, absolutely no way out. He thought he would have refuge deep in the corner inside tree room, but the coverage too good from Whippy.
It just seems like V1 is riding a light speed locomotive that cannot be derailed. And it's headed to Iceland. Though it will have to slow down considerably before light speed, because it is like a few weeks before Iceland. So I mean, they don't need that type of momentum. But they are crushing it right now, and you feel like this is last chance saloon for Envy. You're gonna go for the full buy here. If you don't win this, you're forced buying the rest of the game pretty much. You still have that Victor ult, and it needs to have value. It needs to have almost as much value as Zelsis just did a couple of rounds ago. As we have another pause here. You have to imagine it's tactical from Envy. And, I mean, this is it. Prove why you've been a top 4 team for so long. Prove you still got that composure. This is your time to shine. Again, V1, though, a team that has not been around for that long. Players only recently making the transition this year as a full committed group of Valorant players. Had a tough stage 1, if we're honest. But they were always losing to really good teams. But now they're matching up against those same teams and getting the results. And it could be actually just enough to get themselves over to Iceland. Despite having not much of a resume, they might just do it anyway.
Very close, hopefully. For Envy, that tactical timeout was just enough to start to slow some of the momentum. Do still have that run it back online, and as you said, it needs to be a big one, just as we saw from Zelsis a few rounds ago. Whippy hanging out underneath heaven, hasn't been spotted just yet. Hot Hand's gonna stop a push coming out from tree room. There Whippy goes.
No
spotted
way.
out the run it back, no more, taken down, and the tactical timeout doesn't matter. Finesse needs to do the impossible here in a 1v4. A couple of low HP members, but surely we're looking at 11 rounds for version 1 as a spike is all the way down towards A main. The Boombot gonna be shot, jump up position secured by Finesse. He will take his leave and try and dance away from the paint shells.
I mean,
This is not looking good.
no, it's pretty much all she wrote for this round. As you saw that Victor didn't want to use the run it back because the drone had cleared the site. He didn't want to have to spend it here and now, but they just never did anything to clear that under balcony position. Whippy goes unchecked. No hot hands thrown underneath there. No paint shells thrown under there. No nothing. Just no attention paid whatsoever. Hot heads instead used to block anyone pushing the smoke at the door. And so Whippy is able just to come out unchecked for 3. And then Penny swings out heaven. So now you have like a high-low peak situation where you have to choose your target. And spoiled for choice is not the correct scenario. And so V1 up to 11, and it feels like I just, it's going to be so tough now for Envy to come back. V1 are playing so well. They are playing so confidently, and they are getting great production out of the whole lineup. And if ever Victor were to have impact with the running back, it's got to be now. And Finesse's lockdown has to be key. They got to stop V1 here and now from getting the series point. Effie's getting some intel that Envy are trying to get aggressive at middle, and they've also taken a good bit of chip damage.
Yeah, it was the grav shell combo. Grav
yeah,
well and paint shells. And now with that information,
I was figuring it out. I had it. Thank you. Grav shell.
Grav shell.
Victor does get a pick with the mix well. Right, are we done with that yet? Or okay.
Yes.
Victor does get the entry
back.
With the run it back. Yes, he did.
You should run.
And the lockdown will now potentially secure the A site. Zelsis, though, that's a great hot hands to slow down, are forced to take damage here at Catwalk. So they're not really building off of that lockdown as much as maybe they were going to hope for, because Caboose couldn't afford to push because he had low HP.
Zelsis not spotted just yet. Caboose eventually falls again to the Nanoswarm's crash. He's trying to find something here to try and trade out Whippy as that Cosmic Divide comes on through. Zelsis just going to treat it as the Blaze Wall, but Mummy comes off the plant and finds the kill. Envy are looking to hang on, and Victor is right there backing up the squad. The lockdown will push him away. The HP is low, but is this doable? Effie's sitting at full health. The spike planted. 2 going to be spotted towards the right. Maybe a couple more spotted towards the left as they look to swing. Effie's still alive. The spike faked for just a second. Crashy's low HP. Now they know he's off. The spike's going to fake it once more. They line up for him. Mummy not going to find the kill. It's Crashy's instead, and that was too close for comfort.
It really was, man. They almost lined up for him there and gave him a chance. But again, it looked like Envy were done for there. I felt like Zelsis did such a great job with his hot hands to throw it down and kind of make the timing of that lockdown not as good, but then Envy still fight back anyway. Great fragging from Crashies and company. And Crashies, to be honest, has had a bit more of a quiet map in comparison to the expectation of that player. And that was a big time moment to step up and get a double. But the problem is Envy still had to repurchase a lot because they lost so many players along the way, including 2 people having to have Spectres now. Meanwhile, fully bought is V1. And again, if Envy loses this, they're force buying the rest of the game with just like really low firepower available to them. So, I mean, they really need to just kind of keep pushing here and now. They can't afford another mistake. One mistake means overtime at best with low economy.
And version 1 just seemed to have such a solid read. You don't have a whole lot of information gathered. Maybe the footsteps heard, but the paint shows. Oh my goodness, between the 5-hole of Finesse, Vanity will find the kill onto Caboose. It's traded back, but 30 health. All Finesse has to his name.
Yeah, that is a tough one. Victor, though, has pizza position. Penny checks it too late. That could kind of save the fact that there's low health of Finesses by getting that mana advantage. You're looking to crunch onto B. B, by the way, wide open for the taking other than Effie's playing the back hall's position here. He steps out, though, grabs a kill on somebody, but luckily this Crash is quick to trade. Again, he's finding some form here in the home stretch of map 3. Just when he needs it most, Victor continuing to put that pressure on back halls, ensuring the spike can get into B site and plant. And now it puts a 2-on-3 retake favoring Envy.
Yep, a bit of utility still available. Zelsis has a blaze wall and a curve ball. Turret gonna go down as well to try and find something. Finesse still on low HP.
One enemy
As he jumps away, Victor playing up towards Market. Now gonna get spotted out, playing the off angle. Zelsis and Victor go toe-to-toe. He's shipped down to 24 HP, tries to get away. The hot hands to try and heal up here, but he might just look to find a save on the way out, at the very least hurt the economy. It's already bad for Envy. If Zelsis could find a couple of kills here,
no, you're
it gets
right.
a whole lot worse.
Yeah, it does. It means that they're going to have to keep potentially rebuying lesser weapons on the 3 players that fell. Also, I want to shout out like a small detail there that was actually really great. I'm pretty sure the person who shot the turret down was the boathouse player, so that Victor could remain shrouded in market and then step out and grab like a pretty clutch kill to shut down the retake. I may be mistaken on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened, and that was huge because no one from V1 actually checked market position, so Victor able to come out and kind of be the guardian angel, the insurance policy, whatever you want to call it. And that's another round for Envy that puts it to 8-11. They are able to full buy full rifles for everyone. And now, all of a sudden, the economic problems have shifted. It's now V1 who are up against the rope with spending power. If they take an L here, Envy very likely will get to 10. And then, all of a sudden, we're right back to a similar boat to where we were not so long ago.
Take flight.
Run it back online, though, for Victor. Last time was good for 1, and that's just about all you can ask for when you use that ultimate. Caboose also has the showstopper online. We'll see if he's able to find another multi-kill as we saw earlier in the game. Zelsis is going to get spotted. Curveball to try and buy some space, but the Owl Drone give him away. OS 2-2 in ultimates across the board. And Envy, I mean, they're still climbing up from this deficit.
They had to run it back on Victor as well, so that's a big tool to have. And this is where you kind of want to use it because this is where you can break V1's economy. You can close the gap on the scoreboard. This would be a great time to pop it, but they may not need it. They're getting so much map control without it. And now he decides to use it from the market position, looking to push into sight. He actually has to check back calls instead, which gives Whippy can cancel out the ult, not allowing it to have too much impact. But Caboose, he's got an ult, and that one's going to land the mark. Whippy down, only Effie's up in the back of the site. He's able to get his one man, but Envy are collapsing everywhere else on top of V1, and they're all just drowning in it. It's only Effie's left, and he is not long for this world. Such a big round for Envy to win. Not only winning it, but winning it clean. They maintain all these rifles. They get the Hunter's Fury for crash sheets. And again, the economy is starting to drain for V1.
And this is a round where you probably see a light buy come on through. Although, okay, Zelsis, I'll say, can't afford that Phantom. And it's the defensive end of things, so that Judge might get a bit more value playing in these close angles. Like you said, the economy, it's getting scary for version 1.
It is.
Off the back end of this one, you're expecting Envy, right? When you just take a look at the arsenal alone, Envy should be able to find some extra frags to the shotguns and Sheriff of version 1, but it doesn't necessarily
This round feels
always
so
ring
huge.
true.
Like, you feel if Envy wins, it's a tie game, right? It's 11-11. The money would just be too low for V1. They'd have to concede that. Again, if you're looking for that quicker mid control, it worked wonders last round for the B split, thanks to Victor making that push out market and kind of opening up some space for his teammates to collapse elsewhere on the map. We can see that there is some cat aggression that was being attempted here, but it might be found out by this drone. And Scratchy's is setting up to fly it out. Effie's meanwhile using his drone to clear out and make sure that no one's made that market yet, but doesn't really get the chance to check. I mean, his drone got shut down pretty quick, didn't really get the intel he was hoping for. Now the drone comes out on Cat, and this is where that aggression will get detected. Let's force Zelsis back, forcing to play more standard, and it opens up a little bit more space for Envy to breathe. What's the commitment going to be from Envy? The time is running low. They're going to have to find something quick. Looks like the B split is what's there, and you can see it. V1 are looking to play for the retake on that.
Nice nebulous smoke. The Swarm going to go underneath just to make sure nobody pushes through. You're swinging onto the side. Couple shots through the smoke. Hot Hands trying to stop things for now. One kill to come through. Whippy picks up 2 huge kills, but they're traded right back. Penny to grab another with the Sheriff and an upgrade. Now down to the last 2. Make it the last one. Running out of time. Mummy has to get the plant, and he needs to find 3 more kills on top of it. The paint shells come through. The shock darts to follow. And it's 81 health separating version 1 from map point, and there it is. They're going to push to 12.
Oh my.
Mummy will fall, and version 1 are trying to close out the series.
All right, I want you to remember this memory. Tanner, if you'll recall, there was this moment in the first half where it looked like V1 were about to win a round on this very site, and you saw Finesse do something with the Spectre as he pushed out back calls through a smoke onto the stairwell, and he gets 2 huge kills that completely throws a wrench in the whole round. What do you see this round? Whippy doing the exact same thing with the exact same agent in the exact same situation. And he basically wins his team the round with that particular push. The timing of it, perfect. Catches Envy completely off guard. Sets up his team to have the advantage on the rest of that retake. And now they are 1 round away from taking Ascent knocking out the consistent top 3 team in the world, or NA, I should say, in Envy. And again, guaranteeing that at least one of our dark horses in this bracket are going to be headed to Iceland between Cloud9 Blue and V1. Meaning the only favorite going through would be Sentinels. Just 100 Thieves have fallen. Envy will fall. All these other top squads no longer in the mix.
Keeping version 1 from doing that, though, is a full buy from Envy here in this round.
First op for
Everything-
Mummy, I think, on the attacking side as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And he does. Mummy being that impact player that was, you know, kind of highlighted at the beginning, just hasn't been able, I guess maybe not given the opportunities to be the impact player that he needed. We saw a few throughout the series. Descent and fairly quiet. And Spike gets tossed over. Boombot going down, looking to clear things out. Gravwell going to pull him in. And again, it's got the... No, Nanoswarm's going to be popped as well. So maybe a bit premature on that as Whippy. But it doesn't matter. He doesn't need the util. He's got his rifle. He's going to use that lockdown to force him all away. That's the Spike on the floor. But Mummy will pick it up. Now we got ourselves a nice little Venn diagram of lockdowns coming on through. Unfortunately for Finesse, his will fall. The defender lockdown will complete with nobody detained. Crashes to push through the Nebula smoke this time around. Up close and personal. Catches Zelsis. But now it's all up to Mummy once more. He's got an operator in hand, and it's a 1v4. This could be it, Dust. The Spike goes down. The darts come through. The paint shells on top. The cosmic divide. He's trying to do everything that he can to keep him in the running. He picks up the first, but can't find the rest. That's gonna do it. Version 1 and their first showing on stage will send home another Titan and continue to fight for Icebox.
What
Iceland,
a
not
victory for version 1. Again, a